Take two. We fucked up the first one. Good morning, evening, or afternoon. Welcome to the Bicker Bunch, the very first episode. My name is Matt.
My name is Brandon.
My name's Jan.
My name is Nick.
And we are just four people that get together once a week and talk about some random stuff. Random topics, whatever we think of, except for Brandon.
Because I had diarrhea.
Because he had diarrhea.
He's unprepared.
And unprepared.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's a damn shame. We may offend you. We may not offend you. You may agree with us. You may disagree with us. Shit, we'll probably disagree with each other half the time. And that's kind of the whole point of it.
We agree on everything.
We don't.
No,
Wrong.
I hate you. You're so wrong.
I know.
All right, and we will start today with jam.
So I'm going to start with, since this is our first podcast, that it's impossible to change anybody's mind on anything, obviously. So you probably won't change your opinions on any topic we have because we all follow the same biases and reconfirm it with stuff we read.
Yeah, that's pretty much true.
It's actually 100% true.
Yeah.
Just wrong.
Well,
I disagree.
well, it's like when you go on the YouTube and you search something, right?
YouTube.
The YouTube.
The YouTube. We will call it the YouTube from now on.
If you guys didn't
you're
realize
old.
this, Nick's old.
I am old. It's called the
I'm
internet.
going to go on the Facebook.
But if you, I even,
What
I
is
don't
this
think I have
web
one of
you
those.
speak of?
But you go on YouTube and you search something like flat Earth, which is one of my favorite things I cannot stand.
It's true.
That's all you get, right?
You
From that
just-
point forward. So you're just reconfirming your biases over and over.
Unless
and
you
over
have an
and
open
over
mind
again.
and actually want to read stuff.
Yeah, but people don't
nowadays,
do that, right?
Unfortunately, because our news feeds just send us stuff we like, we only get one side of everything because they don't send the other side of
I
it.
work with people who think the world is legitimately flat because the YouTube told them so.
Well,
and they refer to it as the YouTube.
Why are you so not open to thinking the world is
Because
flat,
it's
Nick?
not flat.
You know?
So we can easily prove the world's not flat.
We've been to space.
We proved the Earth wasn't flat in ancient Greece.
And yes,
I mean, Kyrie Irving
Alex
said it was
Jones,
flat.
NASA is real.
Oh man, we throwing down with Alex Jones in the first 2 minutes.
Yeah, I
Man,
had to
this
throw
is
down with
going
Alex
awesome.
Jones real quick. I'm gonna get you, brother. That's what he's gonna be saying. You
Yeah.
know it's a perfect
Are we
impression.
going to be selling like fake remedies to medicines on the here too?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah, sure. Hey, I have guys every morning tell me that like every food that is good for their system and cleanse them of antioxidants and stuff. And
Toxins,
all that shit.
bro.
Toxins, bro.
No, antioxidants are good.
I have no idea. I think it's all BS personally.
You know, from blueberries.
If science says otherwise.
It's a superfood, Nick. Superfood.
Yes, because foods, there's a such thing as superfoods.
It's like when you're trying to sell cars
not,
and
none.
you say, this is Tober. What?
Tober?
Tober? How much wine have you had tonight?
Yeah, that's a word I can never say anyway
Turbo.
Turbo.
because it has an R in it.
Yes.
That
Jam
one,
can't say ours.
I'm not good at
This
it.
is going to come up a lot.
I'm from the South too, so, you know.
I'm also from the South, and I can say the letter R.
I'm going to go cry now. No.
No, but the difference is Jacksonville, Tampa, right? Your Tampa area?
No, Pensacola.
Virginia.
That's a-
He's Virginia. He doesn't count then.
Yeah. Well,
That's like
What are
the
you
north.
talking about?
That's like the
Virginia's
north.
not the South.
Yeah, it's not.
Virginia is the South.
No.
It is,
yeah.
but
No,
it's not.
That was literally where the capital of the Confederacy was.
Yeah. Like
That's where like 90% of the Civil War was fought.
yeah, the flag,
disagree.
the
Very true,
the redneck
actually.
flag, that's the Virginia battle flag.
Jacksonville was just full of fucking Indians.
So once again, I'm from the South. No.
But no, I agree. It's you run into that thing where people just keep getting confirmed on their biases constantly. Facebook.
Oh,
You
God.
like
Yeah.
something on Facebook, all you
Awful.
get hit is with that same thing over and over again. You're like, well, it's got to be true. That's all I'm ever seeing.
I mean, my friends are saying it's true.
yeah.
Yeah, well,
Because my
that's
friends
the,
can't be wrong.
that's where it comes in a lot is when, like,
All the time.
well, yeah, no,
Just like
everybody's
the one
wrong
sitting
all
here
the
at
like.
table.
Most people are wrong all the time, but
Including us. I mean,
yeah, I mean, I'm
Oh,
not
for
right.
sure.
I'm probably wrong about half the shit I'm going to say on here.
yeah,
but-
probably. You know, same here.
Luckily, we look up stuff sometimes.
yeah,
Sometimes.
I do a lot of googling.
Sometimes.
Google.
we read. But
I do.
You know, again, it comes down to that thing. When you start Googling, Google does the same thing, right?
Oh,
Oh, it
It
does.
starts
Well, no.
leaning you towards what you want.
I actually.
That's kind of its job.
Yeah. Well,
Well, but like when you start your search, it's like, oh no, you want this. Like, oh yeah, maybe I do. You know, it's all gearing you
Well, and
towards.
then the other
I mean,
unfortunate.
it works out great for porn. I mean,
It absolutely does. That is not at all wrong. That is actually the most correct statement.
you might like
uttered
this.
today.
You're right. I do.
Oh man, I have certain fetishes. No wonder.
I find new stuff out all the time.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yep.
IKEA porn. That's one I learned about recently. Didn't know that was a thing.
Did you find that out on the internet or by going to IKEA?
Both.
For those that don't know
Yes.
what IKEA is, it's a store that you can only go one way through.
And
One way.
if you don't know what
Always
IKEA
forward.
is, where the hell have you been for the past like 20 years?
Well,
Yeah,
not
right.
every place has an IKEA.
They still know what it is.
But it's pretty big.
I mean-
it's kind of a big deal.
I actually looked up where some IKEAs are, and I believe there's one in like Guatemala. So like you don't really have an excuse.
Oh,
And it's still cheap in Guatemala.
Well,
I mean,
It's IKEA.
Here, yeah.
I love IKEA. Where else can you get? I don't know, an
You know
entire
what?
house
My
furnished?
TV stand is quite awesome. Well built.
Well, same
IKEA.
with our game board shelves.
Yeah, it's
Oh yeah, no, yeah, those are all
It's great for like
IKEA stuff.
certain furnitures.
Yeah. Back to changing people's mind on things. That's
Okay,
not going to
sorry.
happen.
Yeah, we'll be doing that a lot, by the way. Sorry.
Of course, of course.
Oh no, yeah, we go on tangents constantly. So a tangent I had, I was laying in bed, really high, and
You? No.
yeah, me. Who'd have thought? And I was searching for
Well, I mean, our viewers are viewers.
listeners.
Your bio says unemployed art student, so I mean, we kind of figured.
Yeah, well,
Well, now.
newly unemployed art. Well, not art student yet, just newly unemployed. I'm just a fucking bum right now.
It's okay. We'll probably all end up joining you soon.
Yeah, well,
This will make
For
Word
me.
my company, and they'll be like, oh no, he's got to go.
so I was actually just high shit looking for how far away do you have to be from something for the speed of light to outspeed the speed of sound to where it desyncs, right? Like you've been there, right? You've heard an airplane fly overhead. It's, I mean, like you've lived near military
It's
bases.
called Doppler effect, right?
Yeah, right. The Doppler effect, right? Where you could, well, the Doppler effect is just the sound waves.
I mean, went to submarine school. I know a little bit about Doppler effect.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I did not go to submarine schools, but I
Shut-
know a little
shut
bit
up.
about it.
So anyway, I was like, how far away do I have to be from something for that to matter, right?
Nick stealing your goldfish.
Whatever. And then I came across, I never found that answer, by the way. And then when I wasn't high, I realized that totally just depends on like how loud the sound is and like how far the sound distance travels and like shit like that. So, I eventually was like, wait, that was a really stupid thing to be looking up. No wonder I couldn't find the answer. It doesn't exist. So I came across a phenomenon called the Baader-Meinhof. If you've ever seen something that is new to you, right? And then suddenly you're seeing it everywhere. So what the original story is, and this got named back in 1994. So basically, this guy wrote a letter to a newspaper and said, "Hey, I saw this group called the Baader-Meinhof group for the first time," and then a few days later, he saw it in a different source, right? And then you just started seeing it pop up all over the place, and so. That didn't get named until 1994, right? That's been happening for ever. Like, so it's kind of crazy, right? And it turns out they did a bunch of research on this, and it comes down to a bias. It's called the frequency bias. And the Baader-Meinhof group didn't just become a thing, right? You just started paying attention to it. Like when you learn of a new dog breed and suddenly you see it all over the place. Dog breed's been around the entire time. You just didn't pay attention to it. You didn't know about it, right? Then suddenly you're seeing it everywhere. So I have a theory about that. And it goes, I do. Well, I have a theory on a phenomenon, or a bias, I guess, on why it took until 1994 for someone to name this, right? And it's because nowadays, we were just talking about, you're getting tracked everywhere, right? Like, That probably happens to us all the time now, where we didn't hear about like Dogecoin or any of these cryptocurrencies and stuff like that. Suddenly you hear about it once, and then it's all over the place. Yeah, like yeah,
To the moon.
yeah. No, my Dogecoin's gonna pay off one day. I swear, I'm gonna be rich. And
Probably not.
no, probably not. But so like you see this now in the news or something like that, and then suddenly it just blows up everywhere, and you're seeing it all over the place. Dogecoin's been around for like 2 or 3 years, right? It's not new. It's just now everyone's paying attention to it. And, you know, with all the internet tracking you and all that crap like that, like, say I start getting into drums again, right? I start playing drums all the time. And you guys walk into my house and you don't necessarily... What's up?
And connect to the internet.
Yeah, well, let's say you walk into my house, right? And you notice that my drum set's in a different position or something like that. And you kind of look at it and you're like, oh, it's a nice drum set, right? And it just peaks in your mind, oh, yeah. I like that drum set, you know, Mapex, you know, pretty decent, it's not great, whatever. And then you go and you connect to my Wi-Fi, and, you know, suddenly you're at your house later, and boom.
That happened to me recently.
Ads for herpes cream everywhere.
Yeah. I think you meant drum sets.
Where did the herpes come in?
No, it's probably going to be herpes cream.
You're just assuming that everyone that plays drums has herpes or something?
No, I'm assuming pharmaceutical companies pay shit tons of money for advertisements, whereas
Yeah,
drum
it's usually true.
manufacturers don't.
Oh, it was
That
just like,
happened to me recently.
I was like, we were talking about drums. Where did the herpes come
Because
from?
I'm going to film school, and I mentioned it at work to Ray, my buddy Ray, and we're talking about it. He's like, yeah, it's a good idea. And all of a sudden, my computer at work, I bring up MSN News, and there's advertisements from film school.
No, they don't.
And my phone, that's suddenly, it's
They
like
don't-
it's weird. It's
they don't
because I
listen.
searched it once for the
Yeah,
school
okay.
near
Yeah.
me.
So you
and
searched
now
it.
that's all I'm getting advertisements for.
Yeah.
Well, my sign-in, and my MSN sign-in is...
Yeah, it carries over, right?
Carries
So-
over. So that's all I'm getting at work now. All of a sudden, is this advertisements. But now it's like in the network at work. So now that's all it's popping up for like advertisements everywhere.
Yeah,
is film
yeah. So what
schools.
happens is like you guys would connect to my internet or something like that,
And
right?
you search drum sets.
Yeah, and I'm searching drum sets and
And that's
stuff.
what we're going to get.
Yeah, and because it's coming from my internet, my DNS records, right? And even if you don't connect to my internet, you're still in my location, and Google tracks your location, and you know, Facebook and Twitter. I mean, it's huge in the news right now. Facebook, you know, when Apple said we're not going to let you, like, you have to give explicit consent now on iPhones to track
Yeah.
locations. Yeah, Facebook threw a fucking bitch fit about it.
I actually agree with Apple on that 100%.
Oh yeah, no, it's the amount
we
of
had to go through
data.
our app and do the same thing.
Yeah, the amount of data you guys just like everyone hands over to these companies, right? And I get it. If you want a free service, you're going to have to give something in return, right? The company has to make money, and you know, Facebook doesn't charge aside for advertisement for anything else, right? All their services are free, so they got to get the money from somewhere, and they get the money by you clicking "I accept the terms of services,"
Yeah,
and
pretty much. Yeah.
then we got was it
Nothing-
Cambridge Analytica, right?
Human sent at bed.
Yeah, and yeah, so it's kind of crazy. So you see that, you know, you see that phenomenon now where suddenly we see everything way more often, and it's like been artificially implanted into us. So now we have so much information coming at us from every different side, like in every different kind of thing. And then, you know, talking about advertisements, you know, I made the joke about herpes cream because like pharmaceutical companies, they pay so much money for ad campaigns for you to go to a medical expert and be like, hey, maybe I should be on this medication, when your doctor's like, hey, I went to fucking medical school. Maybe you should listen to me.
Hey, you don't have herpes, so why do you want to be on herpes cream?
Because my eyes itch, and this supposedly also fixes that.
Yeah, right. So, like, you know, pharmaceutical companies just shell out mad amounts of money for advertising for no real fucking reason whatsoever. And like drum sets, right? Drums Workshop isn't gonna. I mean, if you don't know who DW is, you're not shopping. Like, if you get an ad for drums, you're not going to be like, you know what? I want to learn to play drums, and you're going to start at a fucking $7,000
You should. It's
DW
fun.
set.
It is expensive though.
Any drum set's expensive, and then DW is just insane.
It's therapeutic.
Well, see, that's where I believe pharmaceuticals should go the way of cigarette companies, right? Where they're not allowed to advertise, you know, on certain places and things like that.
I'm not
It's
against it.
something that always always kind of bugged me is like you're watching TV. Like we watch. What we watch? We're watching games. The Game Show Network is the greatest example of it.
Oh yeah.
Every commercial on there was nothing but pharmaceuticals.
Yes, I mean,
That's because it's mostly old people watching.
Yeah,
Over.
right. It's because like
You're
me
not
and Jam
wrong.
are the youngest people to ever watch the Game
I
Show
love
Network.
The Game Show Network.
Yeah, I watch the
Yeah,
Game Show,
that's
I watch the
probably
Game
true,
Show Network
actually.
when I'm in like at Pet Boys getting fucking work done on my car.
I watch it just for Family Feud because
You go to Pep Boys to get your work done on your car.
Once.
Nick's gonna kill you now. I'm just kidding.
That's like the. I should stop now.
yeah,
We're gonna get sued by Pep Boys.
we're getting into defamation territory.
Yeah, we're gonna stop now.
They just put the tires on my car.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
But yeah, I don't know. It's so crazy the amount of shit you see, and then how advertisements work. But yeah, no, pharmaceutical companies probably shouldn't be advertising to me because I shouldn't be making decisions about fucking anything, let alone what medications I'm on. Like,
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, but I mean, they do the same thing with doctors. Like they have sales reps that go to doctors and
Sure.
they sell.
Oh, yeah.
They pay them. I mean, they've regulated a lot more than they used to, but I mean, they still give them perks and stuff for pushing their product. Like, I mean, it's you're if you're not going to have advertisements for the consumer, then you got to kind of level it down for the because then you only have one. You have one side that doesn't have any information.
yeah, well, the thing is too is like doctors, right? Unless you're a specialist in a field, right? If you're just a general practice doctor, you have to treat a lot of different things, and you might not be keeping up to date with absolutely every single thing going on in the entire medical world, right? You don't know every fucking clinical trial that's going on. But like Dupexant was one that I take, right, for eczema and asthma, and like I saw commercials for it, and then I went to my dermatologist, and I did not have to ask for that. They were like, "Hey, you should probably be on this. It's great." And I'm like, "Oh, I saw a commercial about that." I'm like, I didn't have to ask my doctor at all because my dermatologist is a specialist. And if your doctor, if you're going to a specialist for a condition, this is advice for everybody out there in the world, and they don't keep up to date with clinical trials, find a new doctor.
Yeah, that is true.
It's the weird one is I suffer from high blood pressure. I'm old and I'm a little bit overweight. It is what it is. So I'm on a high blood pressure medicine, Losartan. There's commercials for Losartan. I'm not gonna walk up to my doctor and say I should be on this. I walked into the doctor's office and he said, "You should be on this." I'm like, you know what? You're probably right, sir.
Yeah, like
It makes sense.
I don't understand that at all. But when you compare that to advertisements for anything else, it's really weird how some companies, I don't understand where some companies get the idea that they need to advertise that much.
I think if they do allow them to advertise, they need to at least make it so that the advertisements make sense for what you're.
Yeah, right.
What the product is. Like, it's just like, here's a bunch of puppies. You should buy our fucking medicine. like what the fuck does this have to do with puppies? I don't understand.
You don't like perfume commercials? I mean, they always
Yeah.
Perfumes
are
and
the
jeans.
sanest
Like,
commercials. That makes the most sense.
They're out
Always.
in the middle of the desert and they're like, Aqua. I'm like, what the fuck does it mean?
Mine was like when the buffaloes are like running through the city, and all of a sudden they're like buffalo jeans. I'm like, there was no jeans in that until the very end. I'm very confused.
There was buffaloes.
But there was buffaloes, so
yeah, like if anyone working in Levi marketing is listening to this, dude, come on. Like, come
I
on.
always thought we should be like commercial consultants every now and then. Like, you see some commercials and you're like, no. Why would you do that?
Well, the interesting thing is getting back to that. It's like what has happened recently. This is where I might offend some people, and I don't mean to.
Okay.
But the election, right? Yeah, you go back to information bias, right? Which is a thing.
It is.
And you're hitting people depending on what you believe, if what you consider yourself or whatever. That's all you're getting hit with. So you have people in the same house. One person, like the husband, let's say, believes this, and the spouse believes this, and you're just going, it's because their Facebook pages are totally catered to whatever they think they believe and whatever's going to keep them watching
That's why
therefore,
spouses
it just
should
makes
share
it
Facebook pages.
impossible.
Nothing says
Impossible.
infidelity like a shared Facebook account.
That's true. But it's impossible to change anybody's mind because all they're being fed is one side of the argument
And
constantly.
nobody
Well,
talks to each other anymore.
No,
they don't
absolutely.
Have
They just
debates.
yell
They
and
just
debate.
They don't listen to people.
Yeah, right.
It's
and
like my team.
Your
screw
opinion
you,
is your opinion
you're
is
wrong.
fact. So
it's like
Instead of having a real conversation.
when everybody got shitty at Ellen for being friends with Bush.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, well, I mean, we can still be friends even though we disagree. And I was like,
Yeah.
what a fucking novel idea that is. Like,
wrong.
wrong. Fake news.
But Penn Jillette brought that up years ago, talking about sports teams. Like
Yeah.
politics today have become sports teams.
For sure.
My side is right because it's my side. Well, it's like the current war, right? When Bush started the war in 2001, it was bad, right? Democrats were mad. Well, then Democrats came to power. All of a sudden, the war is okay. Then the Republicans were like, no, this is bad.
Well, no, when
it
the
flips constantly.
When we invaded Afghanistan, that was a unanimous vote.
Oh, okay,
No,
yes.
there's one person that voted against it.
Because you didn't really have a choice at that.
Yeah, I think it was
Well, yeah.
Lieberman. Did Lieberman? Was it
No,
Lieberman?
I don't remember. It was a
Somebody?
female congressman or something. Or something like that. I don't remember.
No, I can't.
Yeah, it's not that important.
I'm not going to guess at it because
It's been too
fucking get
long.
it wrong and everyone will shit at me.
Yeah, everybody would be all. Yeah, well, you guys have Twitter. I don't, so I can be
Google.
wrong. They'll just shit on me to you.
Google says
I do not have a Twitter.
But so one person voted against the war in Afghanistan. The war in Iraq was pretty contentious, but that's because
There's a lot of misinformation on that whole thing. But
that was
yeah.
was Bush a good president? I'm going to piss a lot of people off here and say no, but did he have a chance to be a good president? Yeah, I think the problem with George Bush was Dick Cheney.
I don't disagree.
A man so evil you can shoot a lawyer
You
in
know
the
the
face
difference
and make him
between a
apologize.
lot of presidents, right? The difference between a lot of presidents in my lifetime is George Bush is the only one I actually thought was a decent human being.
Yeah. Oh.
And I've been around since 1980. I was born in
Which pro-
1980. Like, Ronald Reagan was
he's
probably
anything like
okay.
the
I don't really know. I don't really remember.
The Harold Kumar movie.
The Harold and Kumar movie where he's
The
just like
second one.
Oh,
he's like hiding in his clubhouse smoking weed.
Yeah, no, like George Bush. Yeah, I'd hang out with George Bush, and that's
There's a
probably
lot of
what
people
made
I'd hang
him
out
not. I don't think you can be a good president and a great person.
And he's proof of that, right?
Yeah, right.
You don't seek that kind of power if you're a great person.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Like,
True.
You're a Donald.
sure.
You're Donald Trump.
Like
I'm
I'm
you're
sure
not.
I don't. Well, no,
necessarily
I don't think. I don't think you're that horrible.
No, I mean, some people
Not
are-
everyone is that
some
bad. Not
people are
everyone is.
better
Again, this is
overbearing
where we
narcissist.
piss off everybody.
Oh,
who
I'm
is
sorry.
on that
If I
side.
piss off a Trumper,
I kind of don't care.
go fuck yourself. You're
Like-
wrong. Episode 1. We're
I
getting that
get,
out of the way.
like,
the
I
podcast is
get
over.
why people originally
Thanks for
voted
watching.
for him, but I also get why a lot of people turned against him, right?
Oh yeah, we
So-
tried something. It didn't work. Let's move.
But
on.
again, it's the information biases, right? That's
yeah,
all.
for
If
sure.
you were a supporter of him, all you're getting is that the election was stolen. All you're getting is
That's
da-da,
true.
da-da. And it's the sad thing is that's all this man sees, right? His Facebook page, that's
Yeah.
all he gets. His YouTube,
yeah,
that's all he gets.
Yeah.
That
Once
part.
you
Google
start,
searches, that's all he's getting. It's all he's ever
Yeah,
seen
so-
is that. He's
bothers
never
to
seen
try to see the other
the
side.
other
of
side.
anything.
I do not like social media, right? I don't have any
either.
social media accounts outside of anything I do to promote this, right? Like this is it. If you want to talk to me on Twitter or something like that, like, great, I have to, and I'll do it, and I'll respond to you, and we can have conversations and shit like that. But like, I don't air my personal life on social media because you don't need to fucking know what my personal life's
No,
about.
absolutely not.
Like,
No.
I do.
You can contact me. I'll tell you everything.
I mean, yeah, most everyone at this table has known me for. I mean, Brandon's known me for the least, and it's been like what, 6 years, 7 years.
Yeah,
I have known
Yeah,
him
about
his
seven-
entire life.
That's like 7 years now.
I'm also 9 years older than him, and he's my little brother. So,
Little.
okay, he's taller than me. I'm still bigger than him.
Now you
Actually,
are.
now I am
But
Is that just because you're shrinking?
because I'm fat.
That's because you're shrinking when you're getting older.
no, it's,
No, he's just always been little.
yeah, no.
It might be an older sibling thing because I'm the older sibling and my younger sister is taller than me by a lot.
It's
I'm-
just
I'm
it's
the
just how we
only sibling.
even each other out, right? Like,
I guess so.
We get picked on by the older ones, so we just eventually get bigger than them and beat the shit out of them later.
Yeah, maybe.
Like
You never beat the shit out of
Shit out
me.
of
I
Nick.
broke your nose twice.
by accident in both times.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, there's two on the board.
Mine tried to drown me, so...
Next episode, we're going to have a fight.
That's it. Let's bring it on.
It's going to be the first video on Patreon. Me and Nick
The
throwing
problem
down.
is I'm in the heavyweight category at the moment. So.
I'm scrappy. You don't know.
Let's go.
Yep,
Plus,
sure.
you'll have Humphrey. Humphrey will just tackle him down. And you can
And everyone will watch just for the
And here's the
bulldog.
horrible thing. My
Humphrey is a
Milo is so
bulldog, by the
nice.
way.
He'll just watch and be like, what are they doing?
Probably.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, those pictures on our website page, whatever. The bulldog is Humphrey, and then Milo's the little Russell Terrier looking one, and we have Apollo, the curly, fluffy dog.
really fun. The golden doodle.
Golden Doodle. Yeah. Someone has a designer dog.
He is a designer dog.
So-
Actually, he's really
The
cute.
stuffed
the
animal.
designer dog that costs less than
Then my
Then your
Humphrey.
bulldog and
yeah,
your
that's
French
probably
bulldog.
True.
Yeah.
Actually, you
Sure.
guys kind of, all three of you have designer dogs. I'm the only
You
good,
have the
righteous
What are you
person
talking
who
about?
went
English
to-
bulldogs are entirely natural.
We have Carlos, our mutt, so, you know.
Hey,
Carlos,
I went
the
to the
ancient
Humane
one.
Society.
ancient one.
I am the
The
responsible one.
oldest.
I'm not against.
No,
I totally think adopting dogs is a great idea.
No.
I don't.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no. If you want to adopt a pet, I really, really wanted a bulldog. I've always wanted a bulldog my entire life, and I love bulldogs. And to get a bulldog, you know, there's a financial aspect to it. Bulldogs not only are very expensive to buy,
They have a lot of
they have a
health
lot of health
problems
problems,
if you don't
right?
get a good
And
one.
it's because we completely fucking
Screwed
inbred
them
the
up.
shit out of them, and
Absolutely,
like, they're the way they are because of us. And I mean, if you want to stop that, you can stop buying bulldogs. But Humphrey is my baby, and I love him. And so to get a bulldog, you got to go to a reputable breeder that doesn't inbreed their bulldogs and stuff like that. And you know, you're going to pay money for it. And is it shitty? Yeah. Does it take homes away from foster pets that need homes? Yeah. But honestly, if you're getting a dog that is notorious for health problems, you should do your research on it. And
For sure.
That way, you know, the
Well, they
reason
don't
so many
live long
bulldogs are in.
either, So, the bulldogs, they don't live long either.
No, they don't. But the reason there's so many bulldog rescues out there and stuff like that is because people get into financial situations that they can't pay for, because they'll get a bulldog from like a puppy mill or something like that, and then realize
They have
that
all the health problems.
bulldogs have shit tons of health problems. And I'm
not
prepared for that. I knew that when I got Humphrey and
Mm-hmm.
Pierre, that, you know, I have a bulldog and a French bulldog, that I'm gonna have to shell out some cash to keep them healthy. But for the short time that I have those dogs around, I'm going to love this shit out of them.
Well, I was
As
looking at
anyone should.
Iggy's, right? I was looking at Italian Greyhounds for a long time, and I almost got one, but then I saw Milo, you know, on
Milo's
the Humane
a cutie.
Society, and I was like,
He
you know
is.
what? This is a 7-month-old puppy who needs a home, and he's fucking adorable. And you know what? I fell in love with him, and I brought him home almost immediately.
And then he shit all over your house.
No, he does not actually. He's really good.
He's actually really good about going on
Yeah,
pets.
he's
Just when he has an
Sorry.
upper GI infection.
Yeah, that happens. He had parvo, you know, and the doctor said that he's going to have that issues with that the rest of his life. But that's fine.
Yeah, well, it's like
He's
mom
a
and
good boy. I mean,
Yeah.
he's
You know.
an awesome dog, and I got lucky, you know.
yeah, well, it's like mom and dad. Mine and Nick's mom and dad. They had it was a Papillon that they got from the Humane Society. Or, yeah, the
He
ASPCA.
was recovering from heartworms.
Yeah, he had heartworms really bad, and unfortunately, he didn't live all that long.
He made
he's
it
a
to
good
9.
boy. Yeah, he
He
made it
was
to
such
9
a
years
good
old.
boy.
And he was such a good dog. Broke my dad's heart.
Oh,
Tore him
still
up.
does.
But yeah, I mean, there are people out there that, you know, I totally agree with adopting dogs most of the time. Like, but then I also entirely disagree with how dog rescues just fucking lie about what
They do.
dog breed it is.
It's
right?
like
And-
when you read Milo's description, he was a Chihuahua. He's actually a Jack Russell Terrier.
yeah, I don't know why they went Chihuahua
I
instead
don't
of Jack
know
Russell,
why.
because
And
nobody wants a Chihuahua and people love Jack Russell.
Yeah, Jack Russells are fantastic. I don't understand that one either.
But like, you know, you see people that, you know, they'll list a pit bull, right? It'll be a pit bull, and I don't have anything against pit bulls. Every pit bull
They're
I've ever,
adorable.
yeah,
they are
they've been,
loving if they're
yeah,
like
if-
any dog. Any dog, if you train them well and have good owners, they're good dogs.
yeah, but they'll never
It's
list
when
them.
you have a shitty fucking owner.
You know, they'll never list him as an American Staffordshire Terrier or anything else, right? They'll list him as something crazy, like, you know, boxer mix. Yeah, sure, maybe, right? The motherfucker's pit bull. But, so they just lie about it. I mean, we rescued a dog one time, and they said he was a corgi.
And that's we did our research into corgis
Yeah.
and stuff, and we're like,
And we're
yeah,
like,
okay,
okay,
corgi.
if he's a corgi mix, right, there's something we would be able to handle with our lifestyle. And we got him, and he was part, like, I took one look at him in person, and I was like, that's a border collie and an Australian cattle dog. And then we did the dog DNA test, and I was 100% right. And I was like,
no corgi.
yeah, no corgi at all, right? And Australian cattle dogs and border collies are very high intensity dogs that need a lot of stimulation
exercise.
and a lot of exercise. And I'm fucking lazy.
Yeah.
Like, I like my bulldog because he gets tired in 10 minutes. Like,
I think it is kind of
So we had to
fascinating
find a
watching
new
him
home
play.
for him.
yeah, I had to end up rehoming him, right? I had him for a few years and then realized that
couldn't-
our lifestyle doesn't work that way,
kind of dog we
and he
needed.
doesn't deserve that. So we ended up having to rehome him, and it sucked. But
Now we
it's-
got a good
hopefully
home
he's
that
in
they wanted.
he's a better place. Yeah, I mean, they wanted a dog like that, and I was like, good, you
This
can
is the dog.
you can take him, right? Like, he needs someone that's other than
Gonna go walk him all
yeah,
the time.
right. Like, I'm not gonna go on a
run and play
yeah,
fetch
like
with them.
I'm really lazy.
We are. It is 100% true. I mean, that's why we went into like the IT fields and stuff. You know, we sit at computers. And yeah.
Oh yeah, like I'm not a
And now we're all quitting then.
Well, I mean, that's true. It's funny how like a lot of people who go into like business fields or like expensive jobs that pay a lot end up quitting and
Yeah,
going
because
to something
you trade the physical stress for mental
mental
stress.
oh
stress,
yeah,
for sure.
it's so
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, because I mean, you can. I mean, yeah, I mean, people that do physical jobs. I mean, I can't do that shit.
No,
I mean,
No.
my
there's
dad.
No way, there's no
man,
way. I
oh
could do that
god,
shit.
yeah, like
my
what your dad does,
is
plumber.
a
Jesus.
contractor, plumber, digs ditches. It's ridiculous. He's in great shape from it, but it's not something I want to do. I don't want to go dig ditches, crawl under houses.
No.
But yeah, so he has a physical stressful job, and I have a mental stressful job. So
Yeah,
it
right.
just
So
depends. Everyone
like
has their problems.
I've been
I just work too fucking much.
You do. You do work too much, Nick.
Yeah, and
for sure.
Also, I just want to say that people that do all the physical jobs and stuff, so I don't have to. Thank you.
oh yeah,
for
absolutely.
Sure,
It's like
100%.
every
You guys are
single
awesome.
every single person I call over to like take care of my yard or something like that. Like I have horrific allergies. I legitimately, me and Jay went out there to try to pick weeds in our front yard, and we made it about like 20 minutes,
Yeah.
and my skin was on fire, and I couldn't breathe. And I'm like, you know what? There's a reason that
We
I'll call
hired
someone
you.
over to do that. And yeah, everyone that does that, seriously, like,
Thanks.
yeah, you're awesome.
For sure. I don't have to do it.
Really?
Yeah.
It's the first time you've. Oh my god. Okay, so this is the first time my brother has had. If you're in Arizona, and there's a beer out there called, and I will absolutely
Pimp this beer.
pimp this without advertisement
Actually really fucking
revenue.
good.
It's called Big Blue Van.
You've never
and-
had
I
one.
mean, I'm a big Four Peaks fan out here. Shout out.
Yeah.
Even though, they don't sponsor us at all.
Whoa, it's our first show. No one's.
No,
Yeah,
but
no one-
they
no one's
are,
Just, but if you would
like my
to,
single favorite, I
you
will be
know.
honest, they are one of my favorites. But this Big Blue Van thing is really freaking good.
Yeah, it's like a blueberry wheat beer. It's fucking delicious.
It's actually outstanding.
It is delicious.
Yeah.
Both of them. Yeah.
It tastes like beer.
If you live in
I
Arizona,
don't
grab
like
either
beer,
one of those.
so-
You will be happy.
Yeah.
Not paid. I'm just saying. I like beer way too much.
But yeah, I mean, mentally stressful jobs fucking suck too, though. Like all jobs suck.
All
Jesus.
jobs suck. It's
They're
true.
awful.
We work way too hard in
We
this
do.
country.
Yeah, that's
Well, that's why I'm at the point where I'm at, right? Where I'm just going to start chasing passions, right? There's things that I love. Like one of my topics is one you guys are going to have to study for is film, right? I love movies.
I love
all of
watching
that, right?
movies.
That's why I want to go down that road.
I don't-
I love video production. I love producing things. I love creating things. I love art. So why in the hell am I selling auto parts, right?
Yeah.
And and it's at that point where I'm 40 years old. I'm an old man here at the table, but at the same time, I'm still young enough to go say, no, I'm going to go do something
you
different.
want. Yeah.
yeah.
And I'm out. I'm out, and that's okay. And like you
Well,
I
I just
wish
did
I
that.
was 32, like because you're what 32 right now, right?
31.
31. I wish I was your age when I made that decision, right? But now I'm 10 years off of the mark. But whatever, I'll
Yeah,
still
well,
be fine. Well, 9 years, but I'm going on 41.
It's weird. I never thought I'd be in this position either, right? So I just decided very, very recently. So I'm a military veteran. I have mental health issues abound, right? I'm not afraid to talk about those at any point in time.
Shouldn't be.
And I
It's something more people should talk about.
yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely. But I was getting seriously fucking stressed out in my career, right? I work in cybersecurity. Well, I used to work up until a few weeks ago in cybersecurity. And that is a ridiculously stressful field because there's nothing you can do to stop what's happening. Like, people are hammering absolutely every fucking place from every direction, and they don't have to play by the rules. They don't have to play by budgets. They don't have to get permission to do things. They don't have a business to operate. But we do, right? Would it be great to just turn everything off and never have cyber, like, breaches or anything like that? Yeah, it'd be awesome, but we'd never make any money, so it wouldn't work, right? And so it just becomes this, I mean, you're being woken up constantly in the middle of the night to implement some changes because a new vulnerability just popped and it's critical in our environment, and it's fucking crazy. Like, and I couldn't take it anymore, and I legitimately quit my
Really good paying job.
really, really good paying job, and I'm just going back to art school, and I'm going to go do what I wanted to do before I joined the military, and I'm going to chase my passion. And
With you.
you know, like, I collect disability money from the government, from the VA and stuff like that, and I'm going to do my fucking damnedest to just do what I enjoy and try to bring my lifestyle to the point where I can live doing what I like.
Yeah.
Comfortably. Like,
Well,
I don't need my
Starting with this podcast.
Well, that's what leads
well,
me
yeah,
down.
I just wanted to do, like, I
For
think
fun.
this is fun.
Yeah.
That's what led me down to think about nostalgia, right?
Yeah.
One of the things I think that cripples us as human beings, and it's a good thing and a bad thing, right? There's good and there's bad.
For
Just
sure.
like everything. But nostalgia, in a lot of ways, especially men, mostly men, sometimes women, more men than women, it cripples us. Absolutely cripples us.
Yeah.
Like I work in a very male-dominated business, right? I'm in the automotive business, so I'm working.
All of us work in very male
Actually,
dominated.
That's
weirdly,
true, even
including
I do.
Jam, yeah.
Yeah, Jam's the weird
But-
female in the male dominated business.
In programming.
And we have a couple technicians that are women.
And I'll dive down the nostalgia trail, right? And I'm a fucking massive gaming nerd. I'm covered in tattoos, and every single tattoo except for one has something to do with video
I
games.
mean, we all collect video. Well, I
Yeah,
know
I
it's
have-
three of us. I don't know sure Brandon does, but the three of us collect.
I
I
have
don't know.
video
Brandon's never
games.
played Myst, so
mean-
he's too young.
Brandon is the only one that has a PS5. So I mean,
That is a good point. I mean, we are all gamers at this
Well,
table. I mean,
I'm just waiting
We're
for
gonna
something to
steal
come
it,
out that I
so-
actually want. So
Wait for Horizon 2.
you're just too fucking picky. That's the problem.
no, I'll get one. And right now, one, I can't get one.
Yeah,
and then,
everyone's bought them.
Yeah.
that's really the big reason why I don't have one.
And two, like, I'll just wait for something to come out, right? Like, one of the games, I mean, since I'm now unemployed and don't have shit to do, I'm diving pretty deep into Final Fantasy 14, right? I just have that on PC because,
Now that you can actually play it.
yeah, now that I actually have time to play it, because you need time
Well,
to play it. And you also need a computer that fucking works to play it. You can tweet me about that later.
Well,
and I'll
it's like
explain
one of
it
those
to you.
weird things right, where I'm like, okay, so you get the fake nostalgia, right? So he has this fake nostalgia. So I'm talking about games like Metroid and very popular Nintendo franchise. GoldenEye, I think, is the
Firefox.
biggest seller
Star
on the
Fox.
N64.
It was like one of the most until recently it was like.
And
the
when you
highest
look at
selling
me and you
game
say,
ever
I
or
don't know
something
what
like
that is,
I think
and
so.
I'm going to look at, and you're going to walk around and talk about how N64 was great, which I'm not going to lie, it wasn't. The
No,
PS1 was the better console
God,
of that era.
yeah.
I love PlayStation and Nintendo. Those are my two
Yeah,
consoles.
PlayStation's pretty fun.
I legitimately play more PlayStation 1 games than I play most anything else, right?
Really?
Because I love old JRPGs, right? Like the Final Fantasy series, huge, right? I have
Oh, yeah.
at least one Final Fantasy tattoo takes up my entire forearm, right?
Yeah.
And I love the games people hate, right? Just the long, boring, turn-based RPGs with a great story and shit like that. Like that's what I love. I love the narrative and stuff like that. So PlayStation 1 and 2 and the Super Nintendo easily had the best RPG like ever. PS4 did a really good job with like Persona, Final Fantasy 15 and stuff like that. And they're coming back to where we're starting to get some good at JRPGs again. We're not just all, Skyrim clones fucking constantly or
Well,
any different form of Assassin's Creed.
Well,
That
I
is
mean,
a big
recently,
problem. Yeah,
now a
this-
nostalgia
yeah.
game, me growing up, I'm the older one here, was Dragon Quest, right? I love Dragon Quest. I grew up with that. and Dragon Quest XI, I thought, it just scratched that nostalgia itch for me. That's a positive nostalgia, right? It's like this is one of those admissions I will make because Matthew knows this. As a 40-year-old man, I still have a Cabbage Patch. It was given to me by my Aunt Jean, who passed away when I was about 5 years old.
Yeah, you
It's
actually knew
very
right?
special to me. And every now and again, I'll be in my closet. He's in my closet. He's up on my shelf. I'll walk in my closet, see it, and it makes me smile, right? That's a positive nostalgia because it reminds me of the last time I saw my Aunt Jean, who was my godmother. I loved her to death. She's amazing. But that's good nostalgia. But you get this nostalgia where people are lying about it. They're faking it. And then you
Or
get the
they
people
test
who
you.
are so held to it that they refuse to
I
learn.
hate being a girl gamer, being tested on every fucking
yeah.
thing
Oh,
I
yeah,
like.
absolutely.
It's like, no, I don't. Maybe I don't know everything about the game. I like playing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
That should be the
I
only.
don't.
That
I
should be
don't
the
need
only.
to know how many freaking
Yeah.
stones are in the
the only-
stairs.
No,
to fucking-
The
no.
only thing to be considered a
Temple
gamer,
of
the only thing you
something
should
or other.
want that you should have to do is like playing fucking games.
Well, that's what I told the guy.
That's
I
the
said,
only requirement. You don't have to be a fucking expert at shit. Just
No.
enjoy playing games.
yeah, right?
I don't understand.
Yeah, can I explain to you the
call-
intricacies of Pokemon and Final Fantasy games? Yeah, but that's because I'm a giant fucking nerd.
yeah.
Like, if you just enjoy playing games, enjoy playing
And
games.
that goes for everything. Like
It does.
Just you don't
Anything in
have to.
life.
You don't have to be fucking fantastic at it.
You don't have to be
Just
an
enjoy
expert.
it. Like
Yeah,
that's all you
right,
have to do
like-
is just enjoy what you're doing.
Yeah, like, I'm pretty good at Super Smash Brothers. Pretty good, right?
Pretty good.
I've won.
I'm horrible at it. I just
I'm
smash
good
buttons.
at it
Absolutely
if I'm
horrible.
playing Kirby.
I'm all about the C stick.
I like
Yeah, like
Kirby.
I've won
about it.
I've won regional tournaments and local tournaments and stuff like that. I'm pretty good at Smash. Like, can I win a national tournament in
No.
Super Smash Brothers? Oh, fucking no! I popped that on like when the Wii U one came out.
Those guys are fucking nuts.
Yeah, no, like
crazy
I
good.
came on and like I held my own against some of the people there, but like
No.
I'm sorry, I got a job. Well, I don't anymore, but I had a job at the time. Like, I don't have that much time to devote to it, right? And like when we were on the boat on the submarine, being a couple of the guys in my duty section, we would just sit like in the very like forward part of the boat where no one ever goes. And when the one for the 3DS came out, and we could actually like play without an internet connection, we could just ad hoc network each other. We used to just like we would start at like. We'd get off a watch, and then we would play for like fucking 8 to 10 hours, just play Smash constantly. And then, because we had nothing else to do. And
And then sleep for 3.
yeah. Yeah, and then sleep for 3 hours, even though we had, plenty of time to sleep. We were woken up by drills constantly. I was always mid-watch for some reason. I love the mid-watch.
Oh, I love the mid-watch when we switched to 24-hour schedule. Because in the mid-watch was like 8 hours, and then you got the entire rest of the day off.
Yeah, no, it's great.
But
the
one-
only problem with mid-watch is you get woken up by everything because they're like, oh, we're going to run drills at noon.
Yeah, I just
great.
learned- I just
I
learned
went
to
to
sleep.
bed at 6.
I just learned to sleep through everything.
But
other than the air cutting off. If the air cut off, I was like, oh shit.
But one of the things that
Second the fans go
I
out.
realized is his nostalgia held him to not ever explore new games, right?
Oh, yeah.
His nostalgia was only Mario.
That's crazy.
And that's all he ever plays is Mario games and Pokemon
I love
games,
Mario.
right? And
I
those are
play
great
tons of
games,
games.
right?
Yeah.
But you got other great games. And like, I'll suggest the game. Like, right now, the Mass Effect Legacy Collection came out. I'm like nerding out because it's at home on my PlayStation. I'd like to play it, but I will. That's all I'm going to be doing this weekend. But
The weekend's pretty much over.
well, okay, for me it isn't because I work today, so I'm off tomorrow and Monday. But
This is Saturday.
I know it is, isn't it? Wow.
No, I'm
I worked
informing
6
everybody
days
else.
this week. Holy crap!
I'm
Oh,
informing
yeah.
everybody when we release probably on Tuesday that this is Saturday.
This is Saturday.
But I'm like, you should try these. These are great games, and he doesn't want to, and I'm not going to force that. I'm like, you enjoy what you want. I said, but don't look at me weird when I mention a game like GoldenEye, which there are people whose entire college memories and high school
Pretty
memories or
unplayable
middle school
nowadays.
memories
Oh yeah, and
are
if you,
like linked to that game. And don't look at me like I'm the idiot, because you don't know what I'm talking about. And it's kind of sad to me that you didn't take the time to learn that game because all first-person shooters on consoles they started with
on
GoldenEye.
consoles, yeah, first-person shooter started with Doom, right?
Doom, yeah, but they weren't very good on the consoles until GoldenEye.
Yeah,
I
no,
think shooters are awesome in like VR and stuff.
Absolutely.
Those work really well.
That shooter I have for my PSVR is fantastic. I love that game. It's so much fun.
VR is weird.
I'm
love
very
VR.
bad at all shooter games because
Oh, I am too.
I overreact to everything.
Yeah.
I
So
am
I think
just
I was
bad.
shooting a guy in the head.
Yeah,
I'm
you
like
did
shooting like
pretty- you
5 feet over.
You did pretty well with the arrow game we played today with bow and arrows.
You did better than
because
I
it's
did.
pretty close to real life. And, like it's like
Do you shoot bow
yeah,
and arrows in real life all the time?
I
Brandon?
have.
I
Yeah.
do every
Well,
day.
I've done it too.
I mean, I enjoy. I haven't done it. I haven't done it in a long time, but I mean, it's
I
not.
haven't.
It's,
I'm one of them city folk.
It's not something you forget.
yeah, and the motion's pretty.
I get it.
Pretty simple.
I think I've shot a
Growing
gun,
up- yeah.
once in my life?
Oh, I've shot guns plenty
Really?
of times,
Yeah,
but
Well, growing
I was in
up
the military.
country, we definitely shot
No,
guns
it's-
and
yeah.
bow and arrows.
Nothing wrong with it.
Shooting guns in the
Nothing
military
against
is
either
not
one.
really that fun though. Like
I actually had a lot of fun in our gun shoots until I got kicked off the range
Oh.
because some guy was a douchebag.
I had the one where it was like right before they shutted the base down for a snowstorm and they were trying to like run us through.
Oh,
really
yeah, that
fast.
sucks. Yeah, yeah. The military shooting courses can be
I don't
fun.
think I want to go shooting in the snow.
No, this was
It was
this is
indoor.
range.
The indoor range.
Oh.
you
But
brought.
all the people that were running the range wanted to go home because it was about to fucking snow like a
Oh.
foot.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't want to do anything in the snow. I think the snow is awful. That's why I live in warm
like,
areas.
I like
Yeah, right.
going to visit the snow, like snowboarding and stuff. That's
Oh
fun.
yeah, for sure.
I don't want to live
Honestly,
in the fucking snow ever
it's too
again.
cold.
I mean,
Never
I enjoy
again
this.
do I want to live in the snow.
I mean, I don't mind the snow and the cold, but that's because I'm insulated.
May I point out, I am old. Snow means my bones are gonna ache, and I don't want to deal with it.
Oh god,
I'm just from.
is that what I have to look forward to?
I'm from
That's
the
exactly what you
sunshine
have to look
state,
forward
so
to.
we don't believe in the cold. And now I live in Arizona, the more sunshine state, and definitely
Even more.
Yeah,
The hotter
yeah.
state.
By the way, everybody in Florida with the Sunshine State, like you're wrong.
Yeah,
You're not the
true.
Sunshine State. We are.
Arizona. Should
It hasn't
definitely be
rained in like
sunshine.
3 months here.
Yeah. Right.
It barely rains here.
Tomorrow's forecast is the
Versus-
same as today's and the same as yesterday.
Yeah,
Versus
Sunday and
Florida,
fucking hot.
where it rains every afternoon for about 5 minutes.
Yeah. Like, I saw more rain in. Okay, no, I'm originally from Washington, right?
Yeah.
And definitely rains there, and northwestern Washington too. Like it rains.
Yeah,
Oak Harbor,
Eastern
represent.
Washington, it really doesn't.
Oh, Eastern Washington.
Eastern
Once you get across the
Washington
mountains, right? Because the mountains actually like funnel the storm clouds
Yeah,
in,
it's-
and that's why it rains so much in Seattle is because of that. But
It's just a grassy desert in the eastern part of the state.
yeah, there ain't much there. But like, I grew up in northwestern Washington where it rained constantly, and when I went to Florida, I thought the amount of sunshine in Florida was just kind of odd. Like, there's still something about a day where the sun never shines and it rains that I kind of am like. I can look outside and I kind of get a little smile on my face. It just reminds me of home.
I miss thunderstorms because we get hurricane
Positive
season
nostalgia.
in Florida, and
Well,
Arizona doesn't get the big thunderstorms.
No, we do if we actually get a
Sorta.
monsoon.
I haven't
for
had
like
one in a
1
long
month.
time.
Or we haven't actually
Yeah,
had a
that's
good
true.
monsoon
We
rain
haven't
in
had any type of
years.
real monsoon
Also, thank you,
lately.
man-made climate change that people deny. Get into that in a separate episode.
We can.
That's wrong. That's just wrong.
It's wrong.
Everything you just said is lies.
You know something
YouTube
that
told me.
I
Obviously.
Science is wrong.
want to talk about this because this has been irritating me, right? So I recently lost my job, and when I lost my job, right, I was, still was the primary moneymaker, in the family, right? I mean, I
I wouldn't say that. I disagree. No.
I don't, and I could prove
I
it.
do.
Strongly disagree.
Okay, let's be honest. Both. women.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not saying.
You weren't
I'm
that
not
far
saying.
off, all right?
I'm not saying I'm
We just
poor
know the
now.
main moneymaker is not Nick.
That's
Absolutely.
true. That's true.
But
I'm very depressed by that, by the way.
But like, so
Not at all.
I was
You're
looking
doing
at
all right.
and I was looking at we have a big house. We have a house that's sized for 2 people making a lot of money to live in, right? And
That's
we're
That's
5
too
people
big.
making too much money.
yeah, right. But we are, we're trying to sell and we're trying to downsize and change our lifestyle up and stuff like that. But like one thing I was like, man, summer's coming up and this house is going to be expensive to cool, right?
Oh, yeah.
And that's something that, people in other areas might not think about. But when you live in Phoenix, cooling your house is fucking expensive. Like, I am not surprised some summers when, people in homes get $700 electric bills. Like,
Well, it's the
it happens.
opposite when you're in the winter time up in the
Oh, yeah,
Northeast.
in
It
Connecticut.
was the heating
The
costs,
heating
though.
costs,
So either
yeah,
way,
but-
you'll get it. Some
Dep-
part of the year you're going to spend a lot of money on
yeah, but so
trying to
Unless you
survive.
live in eastern Washington.
Wow.
Then you spend like
Or
30
San
bucks all year.
Diego, where it's like 70
Oh
degrees
yeah,
all
well
year
San
round.
Diego. I mean,
But
when I
then
lived there, that
it's
was
very crowded and very expensive.
Then you're paying for everything else.
yeah, right.
That is true.
You're never winning, but still, like, so I was looking up, from our electric company, what are the options, just in case I want to explore the options, just in case I might not be able to make that bill payment, right? What can I do? And the response I got was, "Fuck you, pay your bill," and I'm like.
Yeah, like all those poor Texans.
Yeah, except for it's illegal in the state of Arizona for them to turn off your electricity during the summertime.
Yeah, well there is
that's
that. Because air conditioning is an essential need, which...
I mean, it's 120 degrees out.
Yeah,
some
yeah, like,
days.
If you
It should-
turn off someone's
Die.
electricity, you're literally murdering them.
I mean, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
I mean, people do die every year of,
Heat stroke.
of having their electricity turned off. And so it got me thinking, right? And this is something I've bitched about before to people. And why the fuck do we allow private companies to monitor our electricity bills?
Because of yes. Obviously.
It's a long, painful story.
Yeah, right. So I look at this,
Right.
right? And
Gather around, children. I'm going to
Right.
tell you a
It's-
story.
right. So
Right.
I
I
look
can explain it, but we may not have enough time in this podcast for me to sit down and
Maybe you should
explain
bring it
how
up
this
next
happened.
one. No.
right.
Right.
So
Put
no,
Nick in his own recording booth.
Let's just
Right,
give me a recording
so-
booth and let me take some notes. Give me
Here's
a
the
day,
history
and I'll
on
break it all down
electricity.
for you. It's big. Like it's
But-
actually very
right.
in-depth.
So I look at it, and I'm not a big government type of guy, right?
and you're not entirely wrong in where you're going.
government, liberal, weenie, whatever, right? I'm probably more moderate than anybody else in the world. But I look at utilities, right? And there are certain things that a government should not necessarily, or there are certain things that should not be profitable, right? Private prisons are one of them, right? We should
agree.
Yeah.
never, ever fucking allow someone...
Actually, was a good thing Joe Biden did was starting to
And-
end private prisons.
private
that is
prisons.
a good thing.
And that's awesome. He's going to cancel contracts from private
Putting
prisons
people
going
in
forward.
prison, incarcerating human beings,
For
taking away
business.
freedom should not be a business.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And utilities are another one of those things that should not be a business, right? Because what do we have? In Phoenix, Arizona, right, you have two power companies.
Yep.
You have Salt River Electric Power Company, and then you have APS. And you only get one of the two of those.
You have to use them.
Yeah.
Too. They are a legalized monopoly.
But yet you only get one of the two of them, right? And neither of them are municipally ran, right?
Yep.
They're, I think APS is a co-op, and I've never used Salt River, so I don't know if they are either. But so you have a co-op, right? And what a co-op basically means is you're a private company that gives the illusion that people have power to do something. Like they'll have meetings to vote on jacking the rates up, but they're going to have those meetings at 10 o'clock on a Wednesday in some
When no one can
inconvenient
come.
fucking place when no one can go and actually
Yeah.
voice their vote.
And the rates are still going to go up. Like they don't care.
Yeah, right. And so, like,
What? Your opinion doesn't matter?
yeah, pretty much.
Absolutely not when it comes to this.
Yeah, so, like, you look at that, and I'm like, why? Why do... I've lived in places, especially in the Northeast, a lot of power companies are municipally ran. And, everyone's like, well, the government can't do anything right. And, yeah, no, you're right, 100%. The government is
They
a
do
shit
fuck
show.
up a lot.
Constantly, yeah.
It's true.
But,
I mean, the post office. We'll just start there.
yeah,
I mean,
I'm
yeah.
not...
Sorry,
go-
postal workers. I'm
Or
not
you can just
insulting
look
you.
at Northern California that gets burnt to the ground every year over the company there. Like,
Oh, yeah. Fuck, I used to be a fucking member of that. I don't remember.
Yeah, in
California Power...
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, whatever they are. Anyone in California will know
You
this.
move around the country a lot.
Yeah, so,
You
like...
learn a lot of stuff.
Yeah, so they legitimately burned California to the ground because they didn't do their shit, right? But we don't have an option to use anything else. Like another one that you see this a lot too is cable and internet providers, right? Like the last house I lived in,
They give
we
the
had
illusion of competition.
Yeah.
But you don't really have competition.
yeah, right. You're like, oh, you have this cable provider or some shitty DSL provider, right? That you're not going to use. So the last house I lived in, we had an option between two companies, right? And I will absolutely dime these two companies out because I don't give a fuck about them, and it's Cox and CenturyLink. They both suck, they're both awful, and they both charge way too much money for their internet.
Absolutely.
Everybody
Well,
in the United
everyone
States.
our
you get-
internet prices
our
are
internet
insane
prices
for not
are
as good.
yeah
For
for
shitty speeds.
And in
Yes.
today's world, I find internet is almost as vital as electricity. Not quite
It could
there,
be.
but it's
Yeah.
pretty
No,
goddamn
yeah,
close.
it's-
right?
To get information and
Well,
learn
no,
a lot
just
of
to-
stuff.
I mean, even pay-
we've,
Oh, pay
I think we've
bills.
seen
Pay
this
bills.
year that
Yeah.
internet is an essential thing.
Yeah.
Like,
Absolutely.
I mean,
Yeah.
no one, the world, like everything would have come to a completely screeching halt if people had not.
The
had
world would have
ability to
imploded
communicate
if
through
internet was not
Oh
around.
yeah. So I look at that, right. In the last house we lived in, I had two options, and I had the same speeds as a friend of ours, and the same company as a friend of ours, and I paid $20 less because two companies provided identical services to my home. And that's the same thing, right? So like cable providers can do that. Electricity providers can't. Like what would it take for me
run
to
a
go
bunch of different
create
lines?
an electric company to provide power to someone's house here? Right? Like there's no
Transistors.
absolutely no way I could do it. It's impossible.
Well, our grid system's fucking jacked up anyway.
Yeah, right.
That
Well, I
needs to be
mean-
updated for sure. That's a whole other topic.
Not as bad as some other states, but
Yeah, right.
Well,
so
yeah.
you look at that, right?
not naming any names.
Texas.
Those poor things.
Yeah, right. And that's exactly what that's leading into. That's leading into pretty much the same thing that happened in Texas, right? Like they privatized their utilities, and then something happened. Their utility, the private utility providers couldn't provide the services they need to. And then now people got $15,000 bills, right?
Yeah,
And
that they're making them pay.
they're making them
It's
pay, right?
bullshit.
That was
Those poor
the
things.
response to them is people were like, how the hell do you expect me to pay a $15,000 bill? And the electric company was like, oh, well, you use the power, deal with it. And by the way, Texas, I mean,
Yeah, it was
you
that
think
or
you want to be
freeze
your
that.
own country. So you isolated your electrical grid. Now you find out what it's like to be your own country. It's hard.
Well, also why world markets are a thing.
Yeah, right.
World commodities like oil, electricity, and most general utilities are considered a world.
Well, yeah,
they're
because
like food, right? Corn. That's a world market. That's a worldwide traded thing. And when you isolate yourself from the worldwide thing, you're gonna ultimately, at the end of the day, you are going to get fucked when
Screw
your shit
yourself
doesn't
over.
work.
Yeah,
well,
like-
it's like any kind. Yeah, like back in the day, way before when
well, yeah, you look at
China or any of
colonialism,
them,
right? When
where they had their wall, like we were pretty much all separatists until you realize that's not the best thing for your country.
Well, that's-
And
that's
Total
why-
isolationism doesn't
Yeah.
work.
it's not good.
No.
globalism and colonialism was a big part of that, right? So
Yeah.
when in Europe, colonialism mostly took part in Europe, right? When they started going over to Africa and then over here in South America and stuff like that, and they
I mean, that
started
wasn't good.
started building up. Well, yes and no. I
To
mean,
a certain extent,
right.
Taking over other people's countries.
exactly.
Bad.
That was bad.
That's bad.
But we got exchange
But-
of ideas and stuff like that, and eventually it did bring the world together, right?
Once
so
again, change of ideas, always good for people.
it's not always. I mean, most of the time.
Mostly. Sharing ideas. and-
There is
They
days.
change their ideas to
I guess
bad
arguing.
stuff too.
I guess,
Yeah,
I
right.
guess
Like
I mean-
discussing-
globalism also led to like
People
World War I and
agreed
World War
with
II.
Pol Pot at one time.
Yeah,
they said,
right,
"Oh no,
like-
he has good ideas." I mean,
Yeah,
there's-
be-
I mean,
because of
everyone has
globalism and
good ideas
colonialism.
Bad ideas. I mean, Just
because
saying.
of colonialism, we armed Osama bin Laden, and
Yeah.
look how that turned out, right?
how
So-
about what's going on now over there? I mean, it's this kind of
Oh,
the same
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Two sides were armed, one by the Soviets, one by the
Yeah.
EU
UN,
or UN. Excuse me.
not
Did
the
I say
EU.
Oh, wow, I totally screwed that up. I'm so
I
sorry.
mean, it was two
The-
letters. You,
Damn,
you
EU's just
chose the
going
wrong
around.
one.
Yeah, European
I've
Union
also
going around.
won, but I don't know how many beers. So
But yeah, it's I
It's
don't know.
one beer.
One.
it's like 3.
But
Yeah, but it was the big blue van one, so obviously.
it's delicious. But
is
no,
delicious.
Going back to that, like I look at, I don't know, there are just certain things that I think the government should do, and private people shouldn't be making money off of it. And one of those is providing essential services to people.
Mm-hmm.
No one, there are just things that shouldn't be profitable, right? And if something shouldn't be profitable, it is up to the government to provide that service, right? Like, there's anything the government provides, right? You look at it and you're like, well, why does the government provide a military? Well, because providing your own military should not be profitable.
That'd be so weird. Could you imagine if each family had their own military?
Well, here's the
somehow?
interesting thing.
I mean, that's how it used to be.
Weird.
That's the feudal
This is
system in
how
Europe.
it worked when
or Japan,
The feudal system was fucking crazy.
Well, yeah, and that worked great too.
the
That's why there's so
original
many feudal
founding.
governments around.
The original founding, when we won the Revolutionary War, the British surrendered. They said, "Okay, you can be your own country." George Washington said, "Okay, everybody go home. We're done." There's no military. We were never originally designed to have forever standing. But now the problem is we profit on war. Right?
Yeah, well, then 1812 rolled around and we got attacked by the Brits again, and then we had to have another military.
We realized
had to
not having a
rise up.
standing military was a horrible idea.
Well, there's a point, right?
Well,
You don't need,
there's a point to having a standing military, and then there's a point to having a military that the United States has.
Yes.
Right? Like, we went a little too far.
Okay, yes, the Chinese
We
had
went
that, but they're also
overboard.
a communist nation, right? They don't care about human beings to a certain degree. And
No, it's not to a certain degree.
it's like all the way. They don't care.
Just like
Where
what's
we
happening in West
kinda
China,
do,
like-
and we do care, and we kind of like. Say,
I mean,
you know what? Life is a good thing.
No,
right?
the U.S. government, everyone in power, absolutely doesn't care. I was in the military, man.
Yeah,
Like,
they don't
I was
care.
absolutely nothing to them. Like,
Yeah, that's true.
One of the biggest things, the biggest douchebag things they ever did, right, is I was on deployment during this, right, and it's when I was on the aircraft carrier, the USS Carl Vinson, when the Bin Laden raid happened, and they brought Bin Laden on. And so shortly after that happened, they actually changed the rules on how hazardous duty pay works. Right. So when we enter an area that's considered hazardous duty, we're at risk of being attacked or something like that, the money we make becomes tax free. And it used to be no matter how long you were in the hazardous duty environment for, your entire month was tax free. Right. So if you were in there for 10 minutes, right, your month is tax free. Well, they changed that. And by the way, very rarely did it ever happen where you're in a hazardous duty area for 10 minutes. Like if we were in a hazardous duty area, we were in there for fucking months. And they changed it to where it became prorated per day, right? And that bitched a lot of people up because suddenly, we spent, 20 days of a month in a hazardous duty area and our paycheck wasn't tax exempt anymore.
Yeah.
And that was kind of bullshit. Legitimately,
Absolutely.
we're putting our lives on the risk for something, trust me, in the Iraq war, most of us didn't believe in. And we're over there putting our lives in danger for what? Like, why? Why are we doing this, right? Why did we go to Iraq? No one knows. No one will ever know because it was stupid.
Well, I always talk about the Constitution, and nowhere in the Constitution does it say our men and women will die for other people who don't choose, who do not choose to be free.
Well, yeah,
right?
America's just the world police now, so it doesn't matter that if you're
And
not.
it is a.
We just search out everyone that.
Eisenhower warned us of this.
Oh yeah,
And everyone laughed at him, but he was 100% correct.
But if now we just look at any country that doesn't, if you don't have a democratically elected whatever, you're wrong, and we will move you to democracy. I mean, like just all the shit that happened in the
We've become
19.
bullies.
Yeah, we have, but that started in the Cold War.
To be fair, Saddam Hussein was a horrible
Oh,
human being.
I'm never going to
That is
defend the
true.
guy.
Like, no, he was horrible. I mean,
But
his
that
sons were
doesn't mean
known.
that we should have
No,
been the
I
ones.
agree.
Yeah, right?
to
Like-
But
take
his
care of it.
sons would go to like weddings and rape the shit out of the bride. And then like there's reports like where husbands just kill themselves because their bride just got freaking raped by Uday and whatever his Hussein. And these guys were horrible human beings.
I mean,
like
Saddam Hussein.
if
literally,
let's put it this
just
way,
murdered
if he
people
got
constantly.
the army of Adolf Hitler, he probably would have tried, or Joseph Stalin, he would have tried to beat them. Like he was
Oh, yeah.
not. He's
Yeah, right. And
equally
The
one of the most
only really
murderous
reason he
men in
wasn't
all
was
of the
because his
world.
country wasn't.
And
It wasn't set up like that.
he also killed his own people. Right? There's a
Yeah.
whole. That's a whole probably another topic for us
that's
one day.
well, that's the reason most
It's like Pol Pot. Like people don't equal
Pol
everybody
Pot to
Pol
Hitler,
Pot.
right? Or
Yeah.
even Stalin, right? Everyone thinks Hitler's worse than Stalin.
It's not true.
Yeah, I mean, Hitler was horrible. Absolutely, top
absolutely
3 worst
horrible.
people in the world. But so was Stalin. The only difference is Hitler killed somebody else.
Other people.
Yeah.
Versus
Like,
their own
Pol
citizens.
Pot
Pol-
probably murdered more than
mean,
both of them.
He,
Yeah.
he also
Mao
killed his own
Zedong was
citizens,
very
but he just
close
went
himself.
after-
Yeah.
He went after people in other countries too.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, that's what got
Very
Hitler.
affecting other people, so people pay attention.
Yeah, when
That's unfortunate, honestly.
It is sad.
it is, but there's
And
also
that's why we went after Saddam Hussein, right?
Yeah.
That was
But-
the original reason.
I think it's too is based off of what the country was like before.
Yeah.
I mean, you always think of Germany, like, you don't really think of Germany as, like, this war, like, I mean, they've been in a lot of wars.
I mean,
history.
when Germany started,
Yeah.
up until after World War II, they were known pretty well as a warmongering country. I mean,
but
you had,
you just
the
think
Kaisers
of-
before
yeah,
him.
It's, you just think of Germany as, like, I mean, it's a European country. I mean, Russia, you're like, oh yeah, it's Russia. They kill people all the time. Like, oh yeah, it's this like freaking Asian I mean Asian country that they
Sort of.
run by a dictator. Like, it's, I mean, there's all these different places. You kind of just almost in your mind you accept it that, like, that's
North Korea.
the shit that happens there.
Yeah, North
Like,
Korea.
you don't think,
That's a
like,
good
Germany,
example.
it's like it doesn't compute in your head that something like that could happen in Germany. It happened across Europe, and
Yeah, well,
I think that's why people.
Well, it could
I think that's why
happen
people
anywhere.
go higher. Like, they think
Well,
they
that's
think
the
of the
thing,
Holocaust
yeah.
as like the top of the line for, like,
Well, but-
genocide and stuff. Like,
no, that's not the
not.
only genocide.
Yeah.
Not
I
Holocaust.
mean, look at
was,
the Kurds and all that stuff.
Armenians.
Armenians,
World War One, the Armenian
yeah.
genocide. That was horrible.
And the Kurds, what's going on in Iraq
Yeah,
with
with-
murdering the Kurds. I mean,
And
the
then-
Kurdistan is a very modern, almost Western-like city. And Donald Trump, who, this is one of the biggest things I have with that man, is he abandoned those people. Those people were on our side. They were adopting Western values, and they believed in freedom and individuality and everything that America supposedly believes in. And he said, they're done. And they got murdered. Those people were slaughtered, and they're just being murdered there because they believe in a different version of Islam than the people murdering them, right? And
Well, I mean,
they're
that's
dictators,
just,
right?
That's just how religion has
Any
gone
of
for.
yeah, well, that's religion in
Ever.
general. But these
Different factions,
people
once
who are
again.
murdering,
What
like
team are you
these
on?
murderers, ISIS and stuff like that. The reason we went into Iraq, okay, should we have stopped Saddam Hussein? I don't know.
Someone, I mean,
I don't know, but I know he was evil.
Should Saddam Hussein should have been stopped? Yes. Should we
Yes.
have launched a fucking 20-year war to stop him?
The problem is when
No.
you remove the big dick in a country,
Oh,
someone's
he
going to try to
just-
fill that, right?
Right.
ISIS ultimately tried to fill that.
Unfortunately.
We beat them, but
No,
the
we
problem
didn't.
is we're going to
We
eventually
didn't beat
leave. They're
ISIS.
just going to come back, right? It is what it is, and it happens over and over again. And that's why policing a world never works.
Yeah.
We have to. That's when we have to drop back and say, okay, what's best? I hate to say it's one of those selfish things. Is we have to step back and go, what's best for America and what's best for our people.
Yeah.
Well,
And
not
our
only-
people, best for our people is not to take an 18-year-old kid who has a lot to offer the world, or even a kid who doesn't have much offer, but it's life, right? Life is important, and to send them to a place that they have no concept of what the hell it is and get them killed. That's not what's best for
Yeah.
America. It's not what's best for freedom or individuality
I mean,
or any
I'm
of that. Like that's all bad.
trying my hardest not to be the veteran hippie here, but war is needed sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Maybe,
There
yeah.
are times when war is justified, and there are times.
If you attack me, yes, I believe you
yes,
attack me
right.
back.
The retaliation from Al Qaeda after bombing the World Trade Centers, right? Yeah. Should we have gone to Afghanistan and fucked some shit up? Yeah,
For sure.
absolutely.
Absolutely.
But most of the wars we fight now, or that are fought, are. I mean, just look. I mean, I study World War I a lot, and look, that was the most useless goddamn fucking war that ever happened.
And we're still fighting
We're
it.
still fighting it, right?
That's the problem.
That led directly into World War II. World War II led directly into the Cold War, and we're still fighting the Cold War. It's not over. Don't ever let anyone tell you it is. Like, holy shit, the Cold War's still going on.
wrong.
But
Obviously, it's
wrong.
still going on.
But-
Right now, it's just Putin instead of
Give me your
Gorbachev.
catchphrase.
yeah, right. Like,
Wrong. No.
we're not tearing down the wall anymore.
Yeah,
but
as a child, it was Gorbachev. Now I'm an adult, and it's Putin. I mean, it's
Yeah.
essentially the same problems.
but we don't. I
No
don't.
history repeats always, and no one bothers to learn. from
Yeah,
it.
and that's the thing is, if people just sat back and
Because
actually.
you can't change people's opinions.
Goes back to our first topic. Yep.
Yup. Pretty much.
People
Yeah.
who don't learn history are doomed to repeat it.
Yep. And yeah, and
sure.
you know, you have these weird. I don't know. Every time you think of history buffs, right? You think of like old dudes wearing cargo pants pulled up to their belly button and shit like that, like Nick. And
They're not up to my belly button, but yes, I always wear cargo shorts.
but you know,
Well, today I'm wearing athletic shorts.
you think of that, and like I research history a lot, and I look at history all the time, and
That's what I studied originally in college.
When you start looking into it, right, you start seeing parallels that are happening.
Patterns, yeah.
Yeah,
Things that
patterns and
happen
parallels
today.
that constantly
And
fucking
you're like,
repeat
where
over
are
and
we
over and over
heading?
again. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, you always see this, rise and fall of imperialism and stuff like that. And it always follows the same exact fucking trajectory. And it's happened in how many countries now?
A lot.
Several.
Yeah, pretty much all of them.
Most of them.
Yeah, right. If there's a country now that's still a country, right, and we're still,
And having
they
to
have
redraw.
conquered somebody somewhere.
right, yeah, they have been,
or enslaved the population.
they
of
have
somebody.
either
Yeah.
been an empire or broken free of an imperial rule.
Yeah.
Like one of the two of those. And, like you can see it just every time
Try,
happen.
rinse, repeat.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
and it's terrifying, but no one realizes, no one looks at it, no one gives a shit or something. People think history's
Just
boring.
ignore it. Like they think it can't happen to them, so they don't even bother.
Yeah.
Well,
You're like, there's no way it could happen here. No
Well-
way anything like that could happen. Yeah, okay.
Well, that's
We'll
because
see.
we've been taught, especially as Americans,
Sure.
we've been
We
taught
haven't
that
taught
can't happen.
anything
Well,
about
yeah,
the
it's because
world
we've
in
ne-
general.
we-
we don't get taught a lot of stuff about the world.
We have never had
It's
to.
interesting.
We have never had to fight an invasion in the United
Nope.
States.
That's
right?
true.
Like,
Not in our lifetime.
right. So you think in 1940s in Europe, right? You look at France. There was a period of time when Germany occupied France, right? You don't think of that. Like,
Yeah.
there were German soldiers in France kicking French out of their homes and sending them to Vichy France down in southern France, right? And legitimately, there's pictures of Hitler standing in front of the Eiffel Tower because he ruled fucking France at that time. That's not that. We have no concept of that.
It's only happened for the revolution when the British soldiers, because we have like no quarter or something.
Oh, that was
in our Constitution.
And
Fourth
we-
Amendment, I think.
Well, I mean, that's
something like that.
No,
So it was way back when we first started.
Yeah, where we don't have to offer
Where we
quarter
don't have
to.
to. Yeah,
we don't have to house
Well,
soldiers.
that was
right?
done in
Has anything to do with
That's
anyone
the-
coming over and
one of
taking
those
over
two years, I
anything,
can't
and that's, I mean,
or on our own soil.
yeah,
been a
none,
while.
none of us
Besides,
have had
like,
to,
Civil War.
nobody in this country has had to live through anything. Like,
Yeah.
It's true.
Like,
Yeah,
that's
we've
why-
had it
that's why
easy.
People,
We've
people,
been
walk, people wonder,
pretty
people
good.
around here throwing around, oh, that person's communist, that person's freaking socialist. Like,
You've
nobody
never-
has
Or,
any
or my
idea
favorite
what any of
is,
those words mean.
is when you
It's
got
true.
these kids who are punching people who say something and then they call them, the person who said it, a fascist.
Yeah.
When it's like, no,
You're the one who silenced.
you
them
are the
with
ones
this?
who are practicing fascist activity. And then you say
That's a
that, and then they want to punch you, and you're like, no, you don't understand.
But
Like,
I-
everything you're saying
I love
is
my,
wrong.
My favorite is when someone's been like, "Oh, that person's a communist socialist." And like those
Those
are
are opposites.
Those are
don't-
different
those
things,
don't
right?
work
Those are two
together.
different things.
Those are completely
You
different,
You know,
right?
I
like,
don't think you know what that word means.
Oh, he's a communist. You know what? Go ask if you want to know anything about communism, right? And how communism affects people. Go ask anybody from the Czech Republic.
Yeah, it was
Because
recent. They
they overthrew their communist government in 1989, a few months after I was born.
89. Yeah,
And
that's
and they did
years
it by
before
the
I was born.
and they did it.
a year after I was born.
It was like
I was
2
9.
months after I was born or something like that.
And
And
we all
uh,
know our ages, hopefully. No,
and
just
then
kidding.
but they did it in one of the best ways. And everybody, by the way, should look at the Czech Republic and how they overthrew their communist government, and it worked. They did it peacefully, yeah, and no one had to die. And they marched in the streets, and they eventually told they made their ruler abdicate, and they elected they elected somebody, put him in place, right? And how that all happened
Shit, they
was
did something
great.
Different.
Yeah, and
That's pretty neat.
yeah, it was awesome, right? It wasn't this bloody
Awesome.
revolution that the French have had and we've had and stuff like that. But it was very recent. Like I said, that happened in 1989. There are a lot of people alive in the Czech Republic that know what
What's
communism
like.
was like, right? Standing in bread lines and all that stuff, and how many people died under communist rule, and just listen to their tales of it, right? And you'd be like, oh, holy shit. Maybe that's not a good thing.
people who escaped from Russia.
Yeah.
I mean,
Or North Korea.
or North Korea.
North
or-
Korea is,
Sit and listen to their stories, man.
I don't
Or
know
even
what they are.
China.
I don't even
North
really
Korea
call
is
them communists.
They're like
They
communist, fascist, everythingist.
They are just awful. Like
Yeah, like,
everything
no, they're just
about
bad.
them is bad. It's awful. I believe. I'm a principled. I believe in freedom, individualism, and I believe live your life the way you choose to live it. Right.
Yeah.
I'm very
Stop
hands
being
off.
involved in
I'm
everyone
kind of about
else's
the
life.
government, about being hands off. Would never call myself conservative. I'm definitely not liberal. Well, I'm probably liberal socially. I guess fiscally, I guess you could kind of say I'm conservative.
You
but
take a little bit of column A,
a
column
little
B.
bit of column A.
Yeah,
See?
again, and that's one thing.
Matches
I see
You
kind of
think for
both.
Pick
your- you
some
think for
good-
yourself.
points, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thinking for yourself.
And
At
well,
the end
That's
of
a
the
good
day,
idea.
I want you, the government, to leave me the fuck alone and let me live my life.
No.
But you know what? I also I may like. There's that part of me that does believe taxation is theft, but at the same time, I also understand that
Why
it
we
is a
need
part
some-
of
well,
life.
well,
That's another
there.
topic.
I mean, yeah,
It
I-
is.
For
we don't have that much time left,
don't.
but I could go into.
We don't.
I
wanna
could go into
bring that
taxes
up
in the
for a
U.S. tax
topic,
system.
yeah.
I
like,
agree, but
holy
we
shit.
can. We'll say that, but I'm just saying, like, so when you look at what Joseph Stalin ultimately turned Russia into, what Hitler turned, these were, one was a communist, one was he was a Marxist, one was a fascist. And you look at what North Korea is. I don't even, like I said, I can't fully.
Nobody knows.
there-
okay.
there-
I think
just-
he's honestly, he is his own thing, right?
Yeah.
He's the
You look
supreme
at
leader.
Pol Pot. What Pol Pot was in Cambodia.
I think he also called himself the supreme leader.
Yeah.
Or something
Or
like that.
is it
I thi-
is it Mao Zedong? Mao Zedong was another one.
Mao
Or
Zedong.
even is it Dong?
it's Mao Zedong.
Mao Zedong? Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah,
It's okay. I can't speak either.
That's that American side. That's how it was always educated.
I
was
can
Mao
speak
Yeah,
Zedong.
well, it's
English,
because that's
so-
the way it's spelled. It's just,
Yeah.
it's Chinese.
True. But then you look at like the South
Pronunciation's
American
different.
countries, right, where they started adopting Marxist, like Venezuela and all that.
Yeah,
and,
well,
you,
I mean-
and you look at wherever that way of life has been applied, and it always leads to death. And the one thing I always say about America, and I know people complain, the government isn't murdering people here in its own country yet. Well,
As far
okay,
as we know.
policemen.
Yeah, I was going to
That's
say.
a whole nother subject, by the way. We can go on and on about policing issues, and I will.
There is an issue.
There is.
Yeah, you think?
I believe we
Sure.
need massive,
Just a little bit.
massive police reform in this country. But that's
do.
again,
sure.
you know what? Actually, I would love to discuss that one day.
Put it on the
Because
topic board here.
I like people would look at me and say, "Oh, you're a white dude with a gray beard. You must, believe." No, it's like no, you guys are actually correct. But that's beside the point.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, that's.
I mean, everybody has their like weird thing, like you should believe this. Like, no, because I'm a free thinking man and I believe in free thinking. But you look at what these other countries have done to themselves, and parts of Europe have done it. Hitler and
Well,
Mussolini.
I mean-
and even like modern cases, there's been some issues in Eastern Europe. But it's okay. I guess I don't know. I mean, it's just we're in that weird thing in this country where people are bitching about things that I don't know if they fully grasp how good they have it here.
Yeah, having
Yeah.
to wear,
I don't
having
know
to wear
if
a
they
mask
fully-
temporarily to stop a pandemic.
It's
is
not
a
against
big
free
deal.
speech.
You're
Oh,
right,
yeah.
you're not-
Oh.
Right,
sorry.
exactly.
I'm
And
so-
not a big
yeah,
deal.
I'm sorry. If you bitch about
the
wearing
fact
a
of the
mask,
matter
like,
that I can say
come
Donald
on.
Trump was an awful president, and so was Barack
Without
Obama,
getting murdered?
and I don't get murdered for
Well-
that.
Well, yeah.
Well, okay, they might. No, both Democrats and Republicans want to punch me because I think both men were probably not the best of presidents in the whole world.
I think our whole thing is fucked. So
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there are a couple people.
Both
who wanna murder
sides
you
is
for
kind of
saying that,
fucked.
Yeah, but again, it comes down to that. Like conservatives have this weird nostalgia that America was this, and Democrats
Well,
have this
that's-
weird
that's
nostalgia
the-
that America was this, and both of them aren't really right.
yeah, but that's.
There's
kind
a
of there.
reason we have. And it's funny because even in like businesses and stuff, they always comment about diversity and stuff. You need ideas from different people from different viewpoints. But then you look at like our political system, and they don't
No.
even try to see each other's viewpoints.
They don't, right?
or
And-
take what's good about each
Well,
one.
we're
to
both
make
gonna have
a
to actually-
better world.
The three of us are going to have to
In the
do
end.
it. College courses now make it mandatory. You have to take diversity training.
No, I'm going to culinary school.
Oh, you're going to
There's
culinary.
no
Yours might be
diversity
different.
there.
But you and I are going to a actual
It's called
college,
Everyone can
Yeah.
bond over food.
Yeah.
and we're going to have to do that. And I'm kind
There's-
of like,
there's
look,
no hatred in the kitchen.
I don't. To me, race
I
is
mean-
a very barbaric thing, right?
It
Men
is.
are men, women, people are people.
People
I don't
are
give a
people,
fuck, right?
for
Yeah.
sure.
I don't care what you look
It's
like
called
because you
the
can't control that.
human
So why would I
race.
bother you, right? It's
We're all
humanity.
human.
So I don't understand that. So this whole weird diversity thing to me is like, well, okay, I get it, but
It's more of a
I don't.
culture thing. It's the
It is.
culture differences.
It is.
There is.
It is.
It's
Right.
what it is.
And
It is.
like I
Because we're
would.
all humans, but there's culture.
We might have to like
No,
dance
and-
around this
that you
subject because
should
it is a
respect
touchy
of other
subject.
people.
It is, but yeah,
And
I mean,
share. I
culture.
love culture.
Yeah,
I do.
I wanna
culture's a
go
huge thing, right?
study
Culture
every
is huge.
And that's one thing I always kind of complain about Americans is that we don't
Have our
really
own,
have
really.
one.
We stopped having one. We
yeah.
used to have one, but then we threw it away. And
We're trying to separate it.
the
all again.
moment
Yeah,
the concept of a cultural appropriation became a thing, because when America, okay, it's kind of odd to me that America was kind of considered a melting pot, right? All these cultures came in, it all became the American
yeah, and share
experience and culture.
different things about each other.
But then all of a sudden,
It's pretty cool.
now you're appropriating. Well, okay, I like Italian food. That doesn't mean I'm stealing from the Italians. I like Mexican. I love Mexican food. Doesn't mean I'm stealing
Yeah, right.
from them, right? I just
Yeah,
happen to like
Persian
it,
food
right? I
was
think
pretty
it's
good last
excellent.
night,
That
tell you
Persian
that.
food is epic. I love
It's great that
Middle
we can
Eastern
try all
food,
these
right?
different
It's
culture
fantastic.
foods.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of America. But to say I'm appropriating is wrong. I don't agree with that. But there's America is that.
Well, there's
But we kind
a,
of threw it away,
well-
and because of that, we no longer have art.
yeah.
Our music
That's
sucks.
true. We've stopped.
Music most of the time sucks.
We stopped caring about creating.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Honestly,
no.
everyone has to be doctors, lawyers, and
Yeah.
making big money in business and CEOs.
Or IT. You know how many times
Yeah.
in my life, like I've chased all of these other jobs, right? And now I'm just like, I'm 40 years old, and I said, no, I'm done. I'm going to go do what I want to do.
yeah.
That's why I'm excited. When
it's
we,
tough.
when we
It is
go-
tough.
Yeah.
And people in the world look at me like, why would you go do that? Well, it's because it's what I want to do. Well, why would you want to do that? Why, you can go make money doing this. And it's like,
You don't need money. That's the problem. We've been sold on materialistic money, and not
Is it empty?
no.
Oh, pour me a glass.
So we've been sold on like you have to. The American dream now is that you have a giant house with the most expensive fucking car for some reason, with your family of 20 kids. No, I'm just kidding. It's not 20. It's like a couple kids.
Yeah, 2.5. It's 2.5 children is the average. I don't know how you get half a child, but 2.5 children is the average.
it's always
Or
one of those
otherwise,
bad
you
things.
are
You have to
not-
cut it very quickly.
If you don't have your items of like expensive jewelry and makeup and fucking whatever, then you failed. I'm sorry, you failed. Sorry, you suck.
Yeah.
And you don't need that stuff. What you need is good people, good food,
You
good
need
times, and what you love doing.
And happiness.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, right.
This is something we are
even-
losing because
We're
we are
lacking.
working ourselves to the point.
God, we work way too much here.
Like, this week, let's talk about my schedule this week. I work 8 to 6. I work.
You work too much.
8 to 6.
I'm sorry.
Monday through Friday, 7 to 5 on Saturday this week. I work 60 hours this week.
That's insane.
Right? It's insane. That's not right.
I mean, it's better than
But you know what
when we're
sucks
working
is I
7
make
days a week, but
less money than all
Yeah.
three of you, and I work twice as much.
It's true. That is true.
Matthew's disability that you get from the military is actually probably more than I make a month.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. Very close to it, if not.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I'm
And
a little
people can
fucked
say,
up
well, it's
because of that.
education. Well, you know what? I studied
Yeah,
history.
I mean, it's not like
So-
it's just free money.
yeah, right. Like,
Yeah.
I did pay
Yeah.
a
It's
price
sad.
for that money.
It is, but it is sad that we are at the point where, like, I have technicians who work with me. Today they came in at 4:30 in the morning.
Jeez, man.
Oh,
I
yeah.
couldn't even
They
imagine.
left. Some of them are still working.
It's like
That's crazy.
You know, we talked about it earlier, right? The people that do the physical labor and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like I had
I
to
love
call,
those guys, but
Yeah,
They work
I had
Too hard.
you know I
We
had
make them
to
work too hard for
I
no
had to
reason.
pay I had to pay and I had to call a crew over to do some landscaping in my house and clean it up because we're getting ready to sell it now that I don't have a job anymore. I can't afford the house anymore, and
We don't care about it anymore.
that too.
We decided we needed to downsize
yeah,
so we could
I-
live a better
It's
life
funny, you know, you
for
watch
ourselves because
it's
we don't need the big house. We don't need the giant cars.
exactly right.
We
I
don't need it, guys. We don't
I
need
always
it.
I always say it's funny like when
You have good people.
I
that's all you
drive a Nissan Leaf, right? And yeah,
It's a
this
good
little
car.
little electric car, and it is the easily my
Yeah,
favorite car
you
I've
got
ever
rid
driven.
Of a Porsche.
I got rid of a
'cause you
Porsche
like the Leaf
and a
better.
Subaru STI for it, right?
Yeah.
Like I got rid of two easily people's dream cars, and as soon as I got that Leaf, I was like, nope, fuck both of
This
these
is
cars.
what I
I don't
need.
want it anymore. I love this car. It's great.
That's like what I drive every day. I mean, I drive an old Volvo. Like people are like, that's an old lady car, but you know what it is.
It gets you from point A
But
to point B.
it's
and
comfortable.
I mean, you are old lady.
I am old lady.
That is true.
That's very
That
true.
is true. We all
But
agree on it.
but you know, realized that, okay, I had the fun little sports car, but after a while, when you drive for about an hour in one of those, your body hurts.
Oh,
it's not comfortable.
Right,
Probably
like,
your ass
luckily-
goes numb.
Luckily, when I was driving the Porsche was comfortable. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it was
Decently, pretty comfortable.
But I mean, there's a reason I'm not gonna lie. There's a reason those cars cost that much money. They are fucking awesome. But I don't know. Something weird happened to me in the past year, and
It's called growing up.
yeah, probably it's called growing up. And then
Same thing happened to me when I turned 30. Don't worry.
just getting fed up with a whole bunch of shit that I don't know. I'm tired and I don't want to do this anymore, and I want to go do what I want to do, and I'm tired. I'm tired of working for the man. Damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn the man.
It happens. It happened to me when I was your age too. When I
think it happens
turned,
to most people.
for me, it was when I turned 35 and I gave 10 years to a company, and then one day they said, "Yeah, we're done. We're going to sell, so you don't have a job anymore."
Yeah.
They sold the company.
Yeah, they don't care
and
about
they
you.
cut me loose.
And you don't get any
Business doesn't
value
care
out of
about
the
you.
sale of the company.
No.
Yeah,
It's not like you had like
I went
stake,
from
like
making
stock or something in the
amazing
company.
income to making a third that income within an instant.
Yeah.
There was nothing I could do about it. I was screwed.
Yeah.
And you guys moved me to Arizona. I was in a bad place when I moved to Arizona, and it hurt, right? I spent the next 3 years of my life rebuilding myself.
Yeah.
Right now I'm 40, and I'm like, wow, I lost 3 years of my life because I devoted myself to somebody who didn't give a flying fuck about me.
Yeah, and
I
that's
tell
That is true.
anybody who's ever given themselves to a company,
That's,
you need to ask yourself,
That's not
when
good.
shit goes down, do they give a fuck about you? And
No,
the answer
and-
is no.
Most of the time, no, right? They're gonna, especially if you work in like these big companies and stuff like that, they're gonna build, oh, we have a great culture and we care and blah blah. No, right? When the
sorry.
time comes around and your number's up, your number's fucking up,
Yeah,
dude.
when,
You're gone.
when the accountant upstairs is like, "Hey, we need to cut 3 jobs," and your numbers,
You're
numbers
you're
up.
number 3. No.
Yeah.
Boom, you're gone.
Yeah, you're gone, right? That culture is great until they fucking fire you.
Or in
for
my
it,
case,
right? Like, it
I was
doesn't matter.
expensive, right? I was
Yeah.
an experienced manager, right? I was good at what I did. I was very experienced. And they said, oh, no, this guy's expensive. We can get a guy who can do it for half the price. And they did.
Yeah.
Did they ever negotiate it with me? No, they just fired me instead, right?
Yeah,
They let me
right. They're
go.
not. They don't care, right? And that's
And
why
I lost everything in
That's why-
that.
They're-
And that's what started to change my mind. That's when I ran my own business for a while, and I tried that.
Yeah, you
and now
did
I'm
pretty
back
good
in
on
that
that.
business, but I don't really like it. I'm just in it because it's paying the bills right now. And
Yeah,
until I
right.
figured out the next thing.
you
I figured it
gotta. I
out.
mean, at the same
Yeah, you
time,
gotta survive.
like you gotta
Yeah,
pay
sure.
the bills, but I don't know. I always say there are very few companies that I would have afforded, like even giving a 2 weeks notice for.
Mm-hmm.
Very few companies where I'm
There's
like,
been-
no,
yeah.
I will give it 2 weeks. The last company I worked for, where Brandon still works, right? Me and him work together. I gave them plenty of notice, right? Because the managers were awesome and they would have looked out for me and they would have done everything they could to keep me around. And I know they did, but I was like, hey, I got an offer somewhere else, and honestly, they're paying me. They were going to pay me what I should have been making the entire time. And, did that job work out? No, I ended up getting fucking shit canned from that job. But it doesn't, but still, that was really one of the only companies where I was like, no, I will give notice to you, right? Because you guys are awesome and I want you to succeed because you guys are awesome, right? Most of the time, you're not going to give me 2 weeks notice. They
Yeah,
didn't give me
sure.
2 weeks notice when they fired me at my last job.
No.
They gave me absolutely no notice.
They're like, sorry, you're gone.
Yeah, I got on a call at 9:00 in the morning with the new boss who just started like a week before, and he was like, "Hey, yeah, you're gone. Bye," and like that was it.
Yeah, they don't give us 2 weeks.
Yeah, they didn't give.
Well, that's what happened to me, right?
Yeah.
I set a record month in sales, right? I'm in the parts business, so we had the greatest month that store ever had. 2 months in a row, by the way. We set it 2 months in a row. And my GM called me up and said, hey, we're selling. And, the inventory's a little big. I'm like, yeah, I know. We are suddenly selling a crap load of parts. That's why the inventory grew. And I explained every situation. And they said, well, we're moving on. So good luck.
Yeah,
That's it.
and that's it.
10 years, by the way, with that company. The best years of what you would consider the best years, my 30s, were with that company.
Yeah.
I lost everything.
Yeah, no, it sucks.
And that's why, I tell anybody, if you love history, I'm sorry, you know what, you're going to end up working in a museum or you're going to teach, but you know what, you love it. Go
you know
do
what?
it.
Yeah,
I would
love it.
honestly, you
Whatever
could put
it
me
is,
to work in
love
a
it.
museum, and I
I
would be
would be the happiest man
Oh my god,
alive.
I'd be
Yeah.
the biggest fucking
That's
nerd
what I
walking around
studied,
that
right?
place.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
ecstatic about every single thing I see. I'm like, oh my god, that's so
If
cool.
there are any museums hiring in Phoenix, please call us.
Let us know.
Especially, by the way, the Music Instrument
us up.
Museum.
Oh man, that's
Oh my
a
god,
cool
like
one.
I love music. I love
Absolutely.
music, and
That's a cool museum.
They
Yeah.
actually were hiring for like a security guard the other.
oh dude,
like
I've
maintenance
been
person or
to I've been to
something.
the I've been to the Music Instrument. If you're ever in Phoenix, right, even
You
visiting,
have to
right,
take a whole day. You
Oh,
need
yeah.
to get there when it opens.
the place
It's
is
huge.
huge, and it will take you an entire day to get
It will.
through it. But the Music Instrument Museum
You
is
get
one of
free headphones.
yeah. You just
with
walk
your
around
per-
with headphones
your-
on, and
with your admission.
pretty much every single country is represented, right? There might be a couple of countries that they combine together because they have very similar histories and shit like that. But pretty much every country is represented from every single continent, except for the continent that nobody lives on. But
What?
And-
There's no penguins aren't making music
No.
in Antarctica?
But-
Wait, are penguins in
Antarctic
Antarctica?
folk music.
yes,
Or are they? Okay,
Yeah.
I got it right then. Before all
But-
the people yell at me, penguins don't live there. Sorry.
but it's a great
Jesus,
place,
Jam, come
and
on.
thinking about it, there are a few museums in Phoenix,
I love museums.
but there aren't nearly enough.
I wish
No.
more people would go to science museums.
But the reason
or
there isn't
art
is-
museums or history museums. We don't care about it.
People don't
Oh
anymore.
God, I don't know why. Like,
Americans
great.
have
I love-
lost art because look, I'm all about the free stuff, the freedom thing. But the problem with that is it doesn't always make money. Like art doesn't always make
yeah,
money
right.
because art is very
so no
subjective.
one's going
It
into
is.
because once
It
again,
is, right.
you
If
need a
j-
giant house and you don't do that.
Yeah,
to make art.
and
I'm
you're not
sorry.
going to do that by making a song that you want to sing. You got to make the
Yeah,
song
right.
that's going to
Yeah.
sell you a hit record.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah,
lose. We
the-
have lost, to a certain degree, in a lot of ways, we have lost art. Like you listen to most modern pop music, it is nothing but auto tune. And then people are going to say, "Well, Nick, you said nostalgia's bad, and you're clinging on to old pop music." I'm not.
Just shake it off, Nick.
Auto-tune.
Just shake it off, right?
Depends on the song.
great. Now we're gonna
When it
get
first
sued
came
by
out, I guess auto-tune was pretty
Shit.
cool, but it's overused now.
auto tune. The
alright.
first song that auto tune, by the way, I know this for some fucking ass. I know tons
We know
of
a lot of
really
weird facts.
random shit. The first auto tune song ever was "Do You Believe," and whatever the song by Cher, right? Do you believe?
Oh, yeah.
Do you
And
believe
love
in
after
love?
love.
Yeah.
It sounded so awful too. by
Yeah,
the
no,
way.
and that was yeah, right. So that was the very first song that auto tune was ever used in,
Yep.
and now it is used in all. of
Travis
Everything.
Barker's new band that they just released an album. The singer is auto-tuned.
Yeah, well,
It
okay,
is so awful.
Travis Barker,
It's so bad. I like Travis Barker. I think he's a good drummer.
he's a ridiculously
He is a
good
good
drummer.
drummer.
He's
Yeah.
fucking
For sure.
awesome, right?
Yeah.
You can't. I will never be able to take away from him.
Yeah.
The bands he plays in, I don't like.
Normally no.
Yeah, right.
mean,
I'm a
being
I'm a
honest.
punk
He's doing
fan.
what he loves, so.
I'm a punk fan.
He will
and-
never ever be sponsored by anybody who he plays for. So.
No, absolutely not. Right. And but he's fucking awesome.
Yeah, he's a great drummer.
He's good, but I don't. Like I said, it's weird. He's very
mainstream for what
yeah,
he is.
Yeah, right. He's
He
way-
calls himself a punk musician, but his music is very mainstream,
yeah, right. And like,
which is
I'm-
kind of strange. I know it makes me sound like a hipster, but most mainstream music today has been
No.
auto-tuned. The drums and bass have been turned into this almost like drum and bass machines.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
the
it's not
guitar-
almost. It is.
Yeah, and then the guitar riffs are essentially just
Couple of chords.
a couple chords, and then we're told this is great rock music. And I'm like, no, that's fucking
Yeah, well,
shit.
I'm sorry.
The 4-chord song.
Yeah,
Yeah, right. But I'm sorry when Jay-Z gets inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
there's a problem.
Yeah, like
That's not rock and
I
roll.
like Jay-Z.
I have nothing against the
I do
man.
like
Dude,
Yes.
the mashup he did with Linkin Park.
Oh,
was
it's fucking
amazing.
amazing,
Oh, that's
right?
cool.
And
Oh, yeah,
there's
that's actually really good.
there's a lot of really
I heard
good
that,
Jay-Z stuff, and I like him. I think he's a good musician. He's a good songwriter, and he's not rock and roll though.
No,
It's not wrong.
Madonna's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and that's not rock and roll.
No.
You know what? There's some good, really good Madonna songs, but that's not rock music, and I would never call it rock music.
What? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
Like a Virgin is not one of them, but
That is totally a rock song, right?
no.
Yeah, that's the most rock and roll song ever, right? If
And I'm waiting for Britney Spears to be put in because she's been around for 1,000 years. I'm like, no.
Leave Britney alone, okay?
No, I don't know.
I could go into like rants on that, but I'm not going to. We'll get sued.
Yeah.
I like Britney Spears songs because I like Britney Spears songs.
Some of them
It's
are
'cause
not
you're
bad.
Not that innocent.
I'm not that innocent. I like a lot of songs though. I listen to everything.
I mean, I listen to pretty much anything, right?
I like pieces of people.
And I was recently building a playlist of songs that they were really popular that I forgot about that I did like, right? And like one of the ones that are on there is like CeeLo Green's "Fuck You." I love that song.
That's a
That's
good
a funny
song.
song.
Hilarious. And any Macklemore and
Well, this
that
is not
album.
the radio version.
Yeah, right. And like some of the songs Macklemore did.
But
and
forget
then, like,
you.
No, that's not the song, guys. Go look up the real version.
Oh yeah. Well, to get into that too is one of my favorite. Like, there's times when certain bands will release a song that becomes very, very popular, right? And they will become very popular based on that song, but that is not what that band is.
Stone Sour.
Stone Sour, right? Like Through Glass, everybody loved that song. People were swooning over that song. It was great. You put that album in, and like 30, 100 comes on, and you're like, "Holy shit! What the fuck?"
That's heavy metal.
And like, I listened to it, and I put that album in, and I was like, "This is fucking awesome."
Yeah.
Or like the Bare Naked Ladies, right? They have like the two, but they're different songs.
But then you listen
They have a
to.
lot of songs.
They do
Yeah.
have a
Listen
lot
to
of
the Bare
songs, but
Naked-
you, like,
yeah,
you
and you
have
go
the
back to
people
their-
that are younger that go to the concert for like the two songs, and
Yeah.
they're like, "What the hell is the rest of this shit?"
Yeah, like old apartment
And then
is
the other
fantastic,
people are
right?
like, "Oh no, this
The-
is
the
what they
original
are.
band.
What is these?"
Or
two
like the
songs?"
fact that Hanson's still making music and it's not mbop, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, even Maroon
honestly,
5.
who goes?
Silverchair.
Loved Maroon 5.
They just recently
like,
broke up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Maroon 5. Their first album was amazing. Like, I would
But
never
now
go
the
to
stuff
remove
they did today,
It's so
I didn't
bad.
even know they were Maroon 5. I was like, no, that's not Maroon 5.
Train's the
What are you
same way,
talking about?
right?
Train, yeah.
Train.
with
You
the
got like Drops of Jupiter and
I
Meet
love-
Virginia.
I love Train.
Great songs, right? And now you got like I'm looking for
The
a hefty bag to
the
hold my
Drive-By
love.
song.
Like, yeah. Oh my god.
I would have
I
never
haven't heard that one.
recognized it's the same band. They
Like,
completely
I like 50
changed.
Ways to Say Goodbye is a good song.
Yeah, like they had a lot of really
Mm-hmm.
good music earlier, and now they're doing like I'm just a shy guy looking for a 2-ply hefty bag to hold. Go fuck yourself, honestly. Like
Yeah, it's
whoever
terrible.
wrote that, go die in a hole.
Yeah.
That's all you deserve.
It's so
My
weird, but I
favorite
mean,
one is what Tool did to get their album sold at Walmart.
Who's this new band Tool? It beats
Yeah,
Tool
I've never
took
heard
an
of Tool.
album.
That's the new band that beat
Oh
Taylor
yeah,
Swift,
that
right?
beat Taylor Swift. Tool, back when I was a kid, they released an album, and it was
Before I
kind
was
of
born.
the cover was a little rough.
Oh
And
yeah.
there was some cussing in it, right?
Yeah.
So Walmart's like, we're not selling this. So Tool's like, all right. So they sold it as a barcode. Never changed a single lyric. Walmart's like, well, that's okay. That's good. That looks good. You know, and like they straight up in the side of the cover they put, we couldn't sell this at Walmart, but we really wanted your money, so
Yeah.
you know, here you go.
Yeah. So if you buy the album at
So
Walmart,
if you
it's
want
just a
this, if you
barcode.
send this in, you'll get the real cover. Like, so you had to send it in to get the real. I still have the barcode cover because that's
Yeah.
the only way I could buy it.
It was
But
just-
they never edited a single word of that song.
It was in, but
I was
that-
like,
the
that's
actual
awesome.
cover of that album was actually still in that
Yeah.
that book, right? The okay, so
It's a pig stuck on a bunch of forks.
yeah, right. So
That's just
Any-
horrible.
I don't know. For some reason, that
anyone,
was considered
you know,
horrible.
anyone
Because that
nowadays,
never
I mean,
happens
it's
in real
not
life.
as bad as Mortal Kombat, so.
That's true.
anyone who's listening to this now, right? We
I
used
love
to have to
Mortal Kombat.
like
Come here.
go buy physical music.
Let's not go too far into this because that's going to be one of
True.
my physical
That's
stuff.
another topic for sure.
So we used to have to go to a store when a band released
Yeah.
something, and we had to go look for it in these like large books, and you had to remember and like know your alphabet and where the band was, and what the new album name was,
Yeah.
and what the
And
cover
if
looked
you
like.
learn your alphabet backwards like I did, it really fucks up
And-
alphabetizing things.
Wait,
Just an
why-
FYI.
why
Yeah,
did you
and
learn your-
Tool
what?
was always that band that didn't really
Okay, this is something
care.
we're gonna have to go. Like, why did you learn your alphabet backwards?
Well, there was this movie called Jingle All the Way with Schwarzenegger in it and whatever. And in the beginning of the scene, the police pulls him over and says, you know, or say your alphabet, and he starts reciting it. He's like backwards, and I was like, I'm gonna learn how to do that.
So you
And I
learned,
did.
you learned how to pass a DUI test.
Yes.
That's how you learned your alphabet.
Problem is,
Okay.
a cop would pull me over. I'd be totally sober. Like, look, we need you to do your alphabet backwards. Be like,
Well, no,
you would
Problem
just
is,
arrest me.
I would do it backwards correctly, and they'd be like, "You must be drunk because nobody could do that." So
You'd still get
he's
arrested.
like, "You're being arrested," because most people would say, "Sorry, I can't do that," and you.
My
just
other
like,
problem is
"I got
they'd be
this."
like, walk and do the heel to toe thing straight. Like, look, my knees, I've destroyed my knees over the years. I can't do that. Like, I'll be like, I'm failing this. You know what? Just arrest me.
Yeah,
we'll work it out later.
I don't have the equilibrium to do that.
Yeah,
Just
I can't do that anymore.
Like half the time I'm walking on the street, I'm just like, whoa.
I'm just a wobbly bastard anyway.
There's times where like I'll turn a corner, I'm like, whoa.
Just trip over nothing.
Yeah,
That
like I'm
happens
pretty
all
sure
the
one of my
time.
I'm pretty sure one of my legs is like shorter than the other. I haven't been able to prove it yet, but I'm pretty sure.
All right. Next episode, we're getting out the measuring tapes and we're going to measure Brandon's legs.
Yeah,
We're just not going to measure mine because we all know that's
it
sad.
is.
We're gonna measure all three of them.
Yeah, no, it's about time to wrap. All three of them.
Save
Oh,
all these-
wait,
save all these
what?
topics.
Brandon's third leg. Next topic.
Next topic. All right.
Isn't that
So
a long guy thing?
thanks for for listening. I hope you enjoyed. If you do enjoy, follow us on social media, like and subscribe. Check out our website. It's thebickerbunch.com. Bickerbunch.com. Also, the Bicker Bunch. I bought both of them, and they redirect toward each other. And
Nice.
just in case, because I knew I would say "the" in front of it.
Not the bigger bunch that might take you to a porn site.
Probably Bicker.
Like, arguing, fighting.
Yeah, and
other synonyms.
yeah, and so we like to. I thought it'd be funny to end every episode with a quote from Inspirobot.
Which, if anyone doesn't know what that is, that was something made that an AI generates inspirational quotes and posters. So go check it out.
It will ruin your life.
And,
it is really funny.
So our Inspirobot quote of the day is, there's a clear link between being yourself and being an asshole. And thanks for listening.